think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rod. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Yeah. Y'all already know what kind of energy I'm on, man. I be trying to tell y'all, man, y'all gotta rock with the channel, man. I try to tell y'all the real time what really be going on, and y'all don't really want to listen. So tonight, if you want that smoke, hey, the link shall be available. Anybody in their mama can get it. Play with it. Play with it. Everybody talking about this mount, but you know shit. Looking like, oh, Duckmore shit. Because these niggas in the top 3 that Duckmore shit in a little bit. You heard? So I'm like, man, it's that type of time, man. Ain't no housekeeping. I'm gonna let it get a little warm and toasty for you. You know what I'm saying? And if you feeling froggy, jump. That's all I'm gonna really say about it. Sunshine Queen, what's happening? Like button smash. I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? We were live last night, man. That's why sometimes I go bring them my real name. Michael Rogers, my real name. I've cashed out people for years and they still don't be knowing their body work. And I be trying to tell them, but like sometimes when I go some places, I don't want to go there as body work. It's like, they almost feel like you're trying to take over the show or try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be trying to do that. Sometimes we try to be incognito. I just want to be part of the congregation. I don't want to get the message of it. I don't want to partake or whatever. Like, yeah, always been a real one. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Always been a real one. The authentic energy, real conversation, even some of the things that you were saying resonated with me. Because I'm like, I've seen people, I done ran into people at the grocery store like over and over again, almost like every other day. They get on the line and we'll be in on the same couple channels and they act like they don't know me. I'm like, when I ran up on you, I was like, what's up, cuz? What's up? I was the same me. I don't change. You know what I'm saying? But I figure I'll do this, you know what I'm saying, just in case anybody want to know some real smoke, because I know if I put up that burner account friendly, it'll attract trolls. I don't want to attract trolls. I want to attract anybody that might got some smoke, because I be telling people in real time what really be going on. And I don't get the credit for it. I be getting looked at, oh, you a hater, or you just think they oh, you this. But I don't do. I noticed that certain people from certain regions, they get the benefit of the doubt because they from them certain regions and they rock with boxers from that certain region. But I go out of my way not to be all things DMC, not to be all things Baltimore. On purpose, I can do it every day. If I'm in Baltimore and take my critical fighter, I could do content on them every day. I could just wake up with something, I could just I don't do that. But I noticed, man, people with certain demographics, man, tried that shit. And then I want to tell y'all this one thing. It's something that they do, right? They keep trolls around. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm not the type, trolls won't be able to tolerate me. Why? Because I'm not going to mute you. I'm just going to make you feel dumb as shit. I'm going to make you get up out of here, man. And it's just one nigga, no matter where I go, no matter what I hear, no matter what I see, no matter whatever he's bad acting or saying, whatever, he always got fake name in his mouth. I'm like, hold on, man. You always put the talking about it as a maniac. But you talk about him more than me. So who's really the Tankamaniac? But I peep something. Some people like to keep trolls around because why? That moolah, baby. That's what it need to be about. So I'm like, you keep the people around loud because they sponsor you, because they be so that gives them carte blanche to be able to say whatever. I got timed out today by a whole ass nigga. I kicked this ball in the shit real quick. He couldn't stand that shit. But nevertheless, I said, you know what? I told my man, I said, hey man, tell this whole ass nigga that he a whole ass nigga, and I'm out. Because if you got people around you that's gonna turn people out, you got people around you that got wrenches that's gonna keep you around that little security fence you got. You know, I'm not with it. From the old school. I'm the type, I'll shoot the fair one with you. You know what I'm saying? I never had no problem with doing it. In person, debating, it don't matter. I got supreme confidence in what I bring to the table. I ain't got to call out and reach for a neighbor. I'm just going to do you like Kane, or how they said, talk to people able. For the neighbor. But that's just the intro, y'all. That's just the dialogue for the opening thing. And I just want to say, man, in hindsight, it's looking like your man Mike was right. What you talk about, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you right. It's looking like in hindsight when I was saying, oh man, I said, we're not gonna get this fight. Y'all can get all excited, you can get all your juices flowing about some 144, yeah, I agree, 144 and all this. Because about the same thing I said about the Ryan and the kind of Ben thing, that shit ain't even that shit so. That's why I be trying to say, why y'all don't rock with your boys? Because I be trying to tell you how they be paying in real time. And I'm not ashamed. Telling y'all, man, stop listening to these lanes. So they get on YouTube, they do a whole lot of cloud chasing. They be saying a lot of names, they be playing a lot of games. Then they have you sitting around looking like boo-boo in the face. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't know why, but like y'all keep falling in this trap with Bill. You know what I'm saying? Shakurians, you know what I'm saying? They just going to like, man, I've come to terms where people that follow Shakur, I've been got off the plane. It's been about a year and a half. I just, you know what? Fuck that nigga. He's not good for boxing. You know, I started watching that Andre Ward interview and I was like, man, this dude literally contradicts himself back to back to back. And he's so confident. He's so full of himself that he don't even realize he do it. I'll give you one example. One example. The man literally just said, so they talked about this is one. I said, man, I could cook this whole. I would be interrupting the live. If I did a live right and I did a reaction to that Andre Ward interview before speaking, right? If I did it, I said, man, I would be interrupting the interview every 5 to 10 seconds. Why? Because it's cap. Like when you get so full of yourself and you don't, that's why you gotta have people around you. That's why I only keep certain people around me. That's why certain people can't be around me. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care if you're affiliated with this guy over there. I don't give a fuck. You can't be around me. Because if you're not gonna check me, especially when I'm out, that's why I'll be telling people, I'm like, hey man, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like people that know me, that know me, yeah, they know. Hey, listen, man. You ain't got the ability to check me and say, hey man, Mike, you out around or this and I duck myself away. You really can't check me. Why? Because I ain't gonna do no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But I was listening to the interview, right, and I was listening to him and what he said about, let's take one example, because I could have done this all, like, I could have done the whole bang, right? But I said, nah, I ain't gonna do it. Why? Because they're gonna look at me like, oh, you just a reactionist, like, you're not proactive. No, I'm proactive because I told y'all this shit ahead of time, in real time, what we were gonna get and what we weren't gonna get. When I watched this whole, when I watched this interview, talked about Uzi, and Ward asked him about Uzi. He was like, well, he's like, man, I just think that he didn't take the guy serious. He's like, he didn't take Rico seriously. He's like, I think, he said, and I'm one of these guys that I don't get who you are, I'm gonna take all of these guys seriously. And I was like, hold on, man. Let's rewind. So I started off with Usyk, but let's rewind to the segment and don't take my word for it, right? Go back and do your homework. Because there's a lot of people that be getting the benefit of the doubt and they be getting labeled as, oh, because you're fair and you're impartial. And they get these big ass, like they get somebody like Captain Egghead to like co-sign and say, oh yeah, man, you keep things pretty fair. No, you don't. You'll never have shit to say about Shakur and all the bullshit. You be wearing the pom-pom. You be wearing the throat coat. You be having the tongue drills and full display for this nigga. And I don't understand it. It's bad for boxing. Like, boxing can't revolve around one boxer. That's why they revolve my whole channel around Tank. Why? It wouldn't be able to sustain itself. But when he got down to Uzi, he said, listen, man, I don't think that he took Rico Verhaven. I don't think he took him seriously. But if you roll back the tape, right prior, they asked him about a guy that was an MMA. What did he say out his mouth? Like literally, what did Shakur say out his mouth when they asked him about that guy? Right before they got in the subject of Usyk, and that's why I say these niggas be dumb. They knee pad wearing fans ain't gonna say shit about it. What did he say about the guy that was in MMA? I forgot his name. I'm not into MMA. I'm loyal to boxing. I don't know the guy's name, but what did he say? This man said, I'm totally underestimating this guy. Stop me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm lying. Did he not say I'm totally underestimating this guy? And Andre Ward had to say, well, you know, I think they got this number. What do you think when they say that the MMA fighter can be the boxer? Like, man, he's like, because Andre Ward said, man, if anything goes, it's pretty much, man, like, you pretty much saying MMA guys, you cook if anything goes. Like, why? Right? He said, but if it's pure stand-up, it's no contest. The nigga Shakur said, I'm totally underestimating this guy. Fast forward to the first point I said when they got on the Usyk, and what did he say? Usyk totally underestimated this guy. But the nigga literally said out of his mouth, I'm totally underestimating this guy from the MMA. That's just a microcosm of the whole interview. There was so much cap in them raps. I said, man, I don't want no part to that. And I said, I'm not going to do a review on it because it's going to look like I'm a pure D Shakur hater. It's just like, no, you can't. I'm like a human lie detector, man. You can't tell me no bullshit. I already know the fight. Wow. It's real odd because I think two, I would say one major content creator. Like, I would say two major. I'm going to give them their credit. I'm going to say, look, I've seen two marquee content creators do content on this, and guess what they were saying? The same thing that I said when I did this last episode of The Fuck Is a Duck, Volume 3. The same thing. It's just pretty much remixed their little flavor, their little sauce to it. Pretty much a remix of the fuck is the duck. When I was like, man, all these niggas is duck, all these niggas is pussy. Same thing. See my front, but I mean, what else dictates or enacts or labels or defines what these guys are doing right now? Pussycat. That's what they are. I went back and listened to the last playback, the one about the fuck of the duck, and I was like, yeah, I gotta put that in my potty mouth. I have a real potty mouth. I'm not running for mayor. I don't want to be the mayor of YouTube. I don't want to be the mayor of boxing. I'm not going to be out here doing this political. I really feel bad for I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to call out their nonsense, their shenanigans, the same way the old heads, the people that's older than me, the same way that they should be doing it. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't care. If you don't like this live, catch me on the next one. That's just how I am. But I've seen two major content creators. I've seen the little guy from Florida doing it. And I pretty much check on him pretty much when he do stuff about Mama Schofield. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that shit be funny. You know what I'm saying? He got that shit down. The voice, everything. He got all that shit down. But like, when it comes down to like all things Schofield, he's right and exact. Outside of that, I don't know shit about that. A lot of the shit he be doing be so whack. Let me type this gonna point out all of that. But what I learned was he said the same thing I said in the fuck of the duck volume 3 about how all these motherfuckers is ducking. But he wouldn't take no ownership. He wouldn't toe the line and get real specific. And what I noticed was that everybody in the comment section, they were commenting and saying what they needed to say and all this and all that, but like that's what they were still doing. They were still picking and choosing. Even when he was really doing his version of what the fuck is the duck, right? People in the comment section, they were pointing fingers. Like a lot of them was pointing fingers at Devin. Oh man, Devin this, Devin that. And then they were taking sides of Shakur. I just put in the comment section like, listen, man, Devin just blatantly duck rolling. Shakur Stevenson just blatantly duck. Oh, shot. What do you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? This was 2 examples. We never get this because they always tell when you're the A-side, blah, blah, blah. Remember when Leonard Harris used to tell, man, when you're the A-side, can't nobody send a contract. But if a B-side were to send you a contract, what does that mean? They really want to fight. They really trying to get that smoke. And when they have answers to the equation of some shit that you said that you were committed to, when you be like, nah, unless it was just utter bullshit, you're a duck. What does Rolly have to offer? Rolly beat the man that spanked your ass. You made Ryan put his hand in his pocket. And everybody running around talking about how Rolly used crayons and all this and all that. I said, man, y'all have not listened to Rolly. Y'all have not seen him lately. He has progressed, he has matured. And we know we have a boxer, we have a mental crime. In boxing, we have a mental crime, we have a physical crime, right? You have your physical crime, you have your mental crime. When you get around 25, 26, 27, you got some fights, you start becoming in your mental, just like in a relationship, you become in your mental and your physical. When you're young, you really in your physical crime. You know what I'm saying? All day and all night. But then when your mind catch up and you mature, you're like, hold on, man, my mind is caught up to my body. And it's a perfect intersection. Where you're mentally there and mature, but then you're physically right where you need to be. So it's perfect. They always say the young Adams is too much in them. And I ain't gonna charge you nothing. But once you become mature and you understand how to handle it, you become dangerous. That's what Rolly does. He found himself being more mature because of the skills. Eureka. Rolly was on camera on Brian Custer doing math, exposing Bill. But everybody, all the Devin fans go, oh, man, you gonna trust Rolly and the PBC bodies. Remember, I always say that when it comes down to PBC, they always connotate or simulate or say that you're gangbanging for the PBC, but they don't ever simulate or connotate gangbanging for Matt Strong, gangbanging for Duper, gangbanging for Top Rank, gangbanging for Golden Boy, gangbanging for Frank Warren and them guys over there, whatever you want to call it. They never gangbanging for pro boxing. Gangbanging is only assimilated or associated with people that are part of the PBC. Mic check. You gotta fix the sound with the music. Okay. All right. So that's loud. My bad. God damn, why? I don't even know why I did that. I put it on the right level. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all had to endure that loud ass music. But that's why I have people that fuck with me. How it sound now? How it sound now? Is it better? Is it better? I hope it's better. And I said it to, that's why I say, man, when you do, I'm telling you, YouTube is funny. It's better now. Salute the Cookie Monster. It's better. Thank you. That's why I say, man, YouTube, when you talk about certain topics, certain conversations, man, like they make shit go weird. I'm telling you, I'm a perfectionist. I checked the level of the music before I even started, and it just changed. But I'm glad you caught that. So we good? Okay. I appreciate you. But Devin came out, pretty much said the money is good, everything looked right. He wound up ending the negotiations by saying that the money wasn't right. And building them saying that, like, and they're standing on the fact that there was no guarantees. But guess what? What did Rolly represent? One, Rolly would have completed the triangle between Devin, Ryan, and Rolly. Whereas Ryan smacked Devin, and there's not any record of that, but there are visual, applications that you can, indulge, and you can see that ass whooping in real time. Where everybody be saying it was nothing but the left hook, but I said, no, it looked like it was the left hook and the straight right. It looked like a combination of both. Why? Because both sides of his face was fucked up. And I know you might not like that, but that's what it was. So Rolly represented, and he celebrated. Remember, Devin celebrated when Rolly beat Ryan. He's just like he celebrated when Cambosis beat T.O. But guess what? He didn't beat T.O. He didn't beat Ryan. Cambosis beat T.O. Rolly beat Ryan. So to close the triangle, like, the same triangle like with Lamar Roach, Pitbull Cruz, yeah, that triangle, yeah, like Tank Davis, yeah, that triangle, yeah. The triangle, like, how Tank Davis fought Mario Barrios, Tank Davis fought Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis fought, Mario Barrios and Ryan both fought, that triangle. The same triangle is like Tank fought Pitbull Cruz fought Rolly fought Tank. Yeah, like those triangles. You would call the triangle before it's real boxing head. Real talk about Honeybee, salute. But you would have closed the real triangle, right? Like you would have had the opportunity to be able to beat the guy who beat the guy who spanked your ass, right? And not only that, you would have got a bag. Why? Because that fight was sealed. The pure boxing Devin Haney versus the wild card, the muscle, the one that's out of control. You know, the guy who, you know what I'm saying, you don't know what to expect when it comes down to Rolly. Because we didn't expect that. Like, if you raise your hand, if you had betted that Rolly was gonna beat Ryan Garcia, raise your hand. You wouldn't. And for all the people that say, "Oh man, it wasn't Ryan's night," and all this, okay, well, I could say, well, it wasn't Errol Spence night against Bud. And then y'all come out with your knives and your pitchforks. So that's how we're not gonna do that. We're not even gonna do that. What we are gonna say is that fight would have sold. Who wouldn't have paid tickets to go see Rolly versus Devin? Devin's not gonna be able to lay back and, you know, just ultimately land just 70 punches and beat Rolly. He's not going to be able to do that. He's not. Especially when it comes down to clinching. Why? Because Rolly likes to clinch. He gains power. He gains strength. That's part of his MO, to rough you up, wear down your injury. And I don't think that Devin, as big as he is, he's not going to be able to tussle with Rolly. Rolly got a martial arts background, y'all. He's been sparring with David Morrell. He's been in Silas' gym. You know what I'm saying? He's with the young Joseph Brown, a skilled boxer, and has a martial artist background too. So some of them things from the young adder might be rubbing off on Rolly. So he's getting the tenure. He's getting the reps with these guys that can really box. You know what I'm saying? David Morrell, he just had, he had some adverse stuff, but David Morrell is much bigger than Rolly. Whole different weight class. He was up there, 175? Maybe you should go back to 168, but I digress from that. But you ducked the fight with Rolly. That was a case where the B side actually sent an offer. How often do we hear about that? People be saying, "Oh man, I'll beat shit down King Kong leg," or "I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy." Rolly sent an offer. It was backed by the PBC. This is another thing where I'll be saying that PBC got to have somebody on a regular basis that comes out and defends them, and somebody where it's like somebody notable, somebody that they can actually, it could be me. It could be. I keep putting my name in the hat. You know what I'm saying? But there is no constant to come out here and negate all this bullshit that goes around, circling around what happens when it comes down to the PBC. So they discount Rolly because they say he eat crayons. Oh man, he's avoiding his mandatory. Let's park a lot that whole avoiding your mandatory conversation. Why? Because I always say that was a third generation mandatory that Rolly quote unquote ducked. When I don't know how the fuck you duck a mandatory when you're coming off one of the biggest fights, like aside from Tank, where Tank put him on stilettos, right? Aside from Pitbull, you coming off a fight with Ryan Garcia. Coming back a year after him smacking Devin Haney around, and you make Ryan put your hands in your pockets. Are you gonna be trying to go fight your mandatory, or are you gonna be trying to go? Because remember, they always say unification. It's funny how when it come down to certain boxes, unifications don't trump mandatories, right? Because they were pushing that issue real hard when it came up to Devin and Rolly, right? All of a sudden, it's man, Rolly, he's avoiding his mandatory. How did that age with Catterwall beating Gearsoft? And mind you, Gearsoft was Montes Stanionis' mandatory. Montes Stanionis, he didn't do it. Montes Stanionis wound up fighting Boots. So guess what happened? Gearsoft was Boots mandatory. Guess what? He didn't do it. He moved up. So Rolly inherited Gearsoft as a mandatory. And then when it came down to him and Devin, now all of a sudden Rolly didn't want to fight his mandatory. Well, where are all the videos about Boots not wanting to fight his mandatory when Gearsoft? Because I was at that fight. The Stanionis versus Boots. Gearsoft fought that night. Boots didn't fight his mandatory. Stanionis didn't fight his mandatory. But all the credit rests on Rolly's shoulders. When he's trying to get a unification, which trumps mandatories. Normally. Unless you're talking about Devin Haney, Shakur, Keyshawn. Like, unless you're talking about, like, the Mount Duckmores, I'm sorry, the Mount Rushmores, it don't apply, right? And that fight was sold. Devin didn't want to bet on himself, and I think that Rolly is the wild card. Why? Because I might think that Ryan got Devin's number, right? Rolly got Ryan's number, right? And between Devin and Rolly, we don't know who got whose number. But we know how people act. Because I pointed this out a couple of lives ago when I said, listen, when it came down to Kambosos, where he was taller, longer, bigger, stronger, more athletic, more active, better pedigree, he took peanuts to go to Australia to fight Kambosos. Twice! 24 rounds. He was going to go over there and fight him without Bill. Bill didn't get cleared and be able to go over there. He was going to go over there and fight Kambosos all by him lonesome. He wound up getting Joel Judah. He was going to go over there with Joel Judah. Zab Judah's father. I hope I'm saying his name right, respectfully. He was going to go over there with Joel Judah by himself. But you see how confident motherfuckers act when they know they can be somebody. They'll take peanuts. They'll go all the way over to fucking Australia. People don't even want Earl to go over to Australia right now as tenured and as accomplished as Earl is, even though it's a layoff. Why are we going all the way over there? All this narrative. Once again, that's because he's a PBC fighter. So they're going to find some kind of funky ass way to shit on anything that somebody from the PBC got going on. But think about this. When you are confident, like Devin was against Kambosos, he took his ass over to Australia for peanuts to fight Kambosos, where he had all the advantages to get undisputed. But he came out with Rolly and said that everything was right. The money was right. He said everything was right in an initial interview, only to come around in the back end and say that, oh no, nothing was right. The other thing was Shakur Stevenson. He also got offered an offer by a B-side. And what's the implications of that, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? The implication of that is one, we had two instances, which is an anomaly, where the B-sides literally sent offers to the A-side. Which one is the indication? So miss me with that. They don't really want to fight. So they're going to pay for lawyers. They're going to draft up some terms. They're going to, Jockey's case, he got with the WBC and he said, listen, I'll get you reinstated with your WBC since you want to go back 35. I'm really a 35-pounder. All this shit that Shakur was, I'm really a 35-pounder. All that shit he was saying, I'll get you reinstated with your belt. I'll pay that $120K. It ain't got to come out of your pocket. They can take it out of my purse. And we'll do it in our backyard. I'm from Orange. You're a Houston transplant coming from New Jersey. I'll do all of that just so we can get it on. The call was like, man, if you fight my man's Ray Ford, because he ain't gonna get to you without getting to me. And if you fight my man's, then you're okay, cool. He dominated his man. People try to deny whatever because it was a 114, but I don't know what 118, 110, 116, 112. I don't know what that indicates other than domination. But that's what it was. They gave him an excuse. So here you have two B-sides offering an A-side's contract, and they exited stage left. And instantly, Bill, with his funky ass lips, came out here, started dredging up all this energy and activity about Shakur and Devin. Got YouTube on fire because he's like a YouTube god. Bill is an excellent father. I salute him for that. He made his son get to heights, like meteoric heights, as they say. He's done very well by all his children. To every account I know, he's taking care of us. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the character. I don't like how he has a chokehold, a stronghold on the media. You know what I'm saying? Where he can get them to say he can get them to strap on knee pads, spray on throat coat, display their tonsil jewelry, grab their reach around extenders and hook them up. Bill got the ability to be able to do that, especially with these major channels and all these channels that want to be down like Brandy. He has the ability to be able to do that, and I don't like that. Why? Because it doesn't give an honest platform or assessment to the people that's doing it the right way. The people that where they got a legitimate stance, but because he has the numbers and their safety in numbers, he overrules them. But Devin Duck Rowley, Shakur, Duck, or Shocky Foster. And now all the attention is because they came out on Twitter and said, oh yeah, 144, blah, blah, blah. And we're hearing remnants. We're hearing something today saying that Shakur don't even want to take it at the 144. People getting mad. That was cool. See, this is how you can tell people be full of shit. This is how people be full of shit. Your favorite content creator is full of shit. You know how when you get a bushel of crabs, right? And it's like you got good crabs and bad crabs. Like, but you know how when you get a bushel of crabs, right? And you open up that first one, it's like it's all watery and it's full. It's like, damn man, I got a batch of the watery. That's how your favorite content creators are. They like them crabs that's like all watery and full of shit. So it was okay. It was okay when they man Shakur could be in a mess hall with his chest out like, yeah, I said I'll do it at 144. And that was all over some Twitter shit. Some Twitter shit. And they believe that shit. But now Devin come out and say, oh, but damn, Shakur don't even want to, he don't even want to do the 144 no more. Damn. Oh man, so now y'all just gonna believe everything he says like you? I told y'all, most of your favorite content creators are bot. They want it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You couldn't have been in the mess hall with your chest out when it was an announcement that, oh yeah, Shakur wanted at 144, and now you're like, oh man, y'all gonna believe Bill because he online. You can't have it both ways. And I'm sorry, there ain't nobody gonna really check y'all on this shit, but like, this is how I think. Well, you just had 2 A sides, Duck 2 B sides, and they supposed to be on Mount Rushmore. Knock it off. Knock it off. But what's up, AC, man?
What's going on, bro? What's going on? Yo, listen, man. That's pretty everything you saying is pretty much right in line from the conversations I was just having on another dude's channel. And the people that were coming up, I was like, okay, I don't want to lose my crap on it and then screw up this dude's show. But I'm gonna do my best to try to contain a lot of things. And within that, dude comes up, shows a photograph of him and Shakur and everything. And long story short, he was saying that Bill and him was never in contact with him. They would never negotiate. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, he was trying to just say all of this stuff about how Bill, and I'm like, yeah, you got some good points there, but okay, it would be remiss of me to not ask you about what your boy just did. Like I hear what you did because I'm still in the process of processing what Dev did and still cooking him on it because I don't agree with it. But it's crazy that you up here talking like that, but your boy did something even worse. Your boy said, fight my guy, put it out there in words. Oh yeah, so you gonna start to believe what boxers say? And I mean, I don't believe none of them. And I'm like, bro, how can I not believe what boxers say? If I don't believe what they say, I don't know what I'm watching. That's WWE. If you can't believe nothing nobody's saying, you can't hold nobody accountable for what they said and then what they actually did. That's the difference between why I became a Devin Haney fan. Because I like at the fact of when Dev was first coming up, almost everything he said he was gonna do, he did. with the exception of the Gary Russell situation, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, y'all, you young boy, that's way too much to try to go after. Gary Russell gonna beat you down. He might even stop you, Dev. That's not a good look. And that's the way I felt about the young guy that I was rooting for and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it was crazy to me that people will not hold their guy accountable, but point the finger at other people and then complain about the same thing that they're doing. Yo, man, see, I'm not gonna disrespect these fighters, but I that situation with Bill and Devin Haney, I'm a person that I try to respect every fighter that's out there. I want to build them all up, but that Bill Haney situation, that one kind of, this and that. So who you rock with? Yeah, I just left the gym with Shakur. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of interesting, the timing, because right now it seems that both of you guys are kind of on, how should I say this, the media whitewash. You don't want to talk about the other guys. Anybody brings up the other guys, it's all of this business talk of business. So the business says you tried to do some shit the same way Virgil Ortiz tried to leverage his fight, and knowing that Oscar needed this fight to happen, so he said, now you got to pay me more money, and if you don't, I'm gonna take you to court on some other goofy shit about money. And when it all failed, Virgil is where he's at. The Booth fight fell apart. Devin Haney pretty much did the same thing with trying to pull up off DHP Promotions and saying, listen, I want more money. Because, okay, if you want more money and you're negotiating you're negotiating with us and PBC, you feel thinking that you got leverage over what PBC has going on, then you know what? It's going to require you a $6 million buy-in. Well, that was my original contract. Yeah, so believe in yourself. Bet on yourself. Like all these young fighters keep trying to talk. Well, he ain't willing to bet on himself. I bet you ain't going to do this. Here, bet me. Oh, see, you ain't willing to bet on yourself. Devin Haney pulled the same thing with Brian Norman. But then when it came down to Rolly, you were not willing to bet on yourself. And that's coming from a fan of his who was just on another channel constantly saying, I'm a big Devin Haney fan. But in this move right here, I'm not going to let my homie get away with this. Nah, bruh. This is fucked up. It's not what we do, bruh. It's not what we do. And if you're representing the West Side, then this is definitely not what you do, partner. So at the end of the day, man, it's like, look, man, keep the same energy. And if you don't like people coming up on your joint, keeping the same energy, and we could have a decent conversation. Me and Just was going back and forth. He's saying one thing, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I hear all that talk, but what about your boy? Why can't he fight Gary Russell at 140? Why can't even he try to make a fight with Andy Hirioka? If you claiming that they didn't do nothing, they not trying to negotiate, why are you wasting time? There's fights for you right there. Oh, well, he got Gary, he got the pit bull fight, and he said he would fight him last. I said, but that's not what Gary said right after the Andy Hirioka fight. He said, listen, I would fight Shakur next right now, but I know Shakur not going to fight me. So I got to look at the other champions and then look at Shakur possibly last. If he's going to be there. You forgot about that part, huh?
What did he say?
He was like, nah, I'm with that fight. I'm all good with it. Yo, I hear what you're saying because that's what us diehard fans really want. I don't have no problem with it. I said, and I'm telling you this, that fight with Gary Russell and Shakur Stevenson will bring in a bigger bag. It's going to bring in a bigger bag, man. Because number one, his ring belt is on the line at 140. The lineal championship is on the line, and it's a unification at 140.
Listen, I'm gonna be real. He was almost like in the position you in right now. Like I felt like he was kind of like one of my right hand man. Like he was, but he politician junior as well. Like that's why I say, man. Like that's why I go out of my way not to be all things DMV and all things Baltimore, because it make us look bad when it comes down to when situations, and you supposed to speak out about it, but you never have nothing. You always find some political ass way to like slip and slide and dodge the bullshit. It's just like what I was saying of what that dude, and that dude, the reason why I left, to the dude, the nigga Big Dog Willie, everywhere I go, even when I'm like eavesdropping over there and I'm watching, you know, the major politician, the one who I used to rock with. I still rock with him, but I just think he should stay in one lane. I can't dictate how he do his thing, but like he just falling to shit. But every time he always take a maniac. Then he got to doing the same thing over there. It's like you never checking why, because he's cash apping you. But you always talk about some tankamaniac, but you got his dick in you got his dick in your mouth more than his girl probably. And it's like, I don't get that. And nobody checks them. Nobody ever checks Shakur on all the dumb shit that he do and how he move and how there's no pressure for him to fight nobody at 40. No threat at 40.
Yeah.
We've heard Conor Ben. We've heard Ryan Garcia. We've heard Devin. We've heard Morataya. And then they shunned O'Shaquie.
And that's why I was bringing up, I was like, look, bro, I hear all of that, what you saying, but he said he's a natural 35 pounder. So then why not go down to 35 and fight those fights we would like to see you fight? Why not stay at 40 if you're going to stay at 40 and give us the Gary Russell fight? That's a unification. Or fight any of those champs, or even even unify with the IBF dude. You feel what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, but, and I mean, he agreed, but it was the yeah, but, and then you gave your little political caveat on why it possibly can't happen. And then I just started laughing like, all right, bro, but I told him, but a person like me, I'm gonna stay on that neck, because at the end of the day, that's for a lineal belt. It's a unification. That it makes sense. If they not doing what they doing, then you don't want to deal with O'Shaquie at 35. You feel me? Because as soon as you touch down at 35, O'Shaquie already talking about he moving up. If you go to 35, O'Shaquie will be there tomorrow. At the end of the day, you're not willing to do that. You're not willing to fight nobody at 40. I'm just saying, bro, keep that dude accountable. Here's your boy and the thing. He always trying to find that Big Dog. He always trying to find a way to shit on Shakur. And it's like, bro, I'm not shitting on him. I'm being critical on both my guys. I mean, even on my guy, Dev. I like Devin Haney, but he ducked Rolly. There is no political, if you want to say the business of boxing, you used the business of boxing to get out that Rolly fight, because you could have still just taken the original deal. Said, okay, this failed. Listen, Rolly, I'll sign the original contract. Boom, done deal. But that's not what you did. You went over in purgatory. We don't know who you fighting. You ain't signed to nobody. And Bill is out here claiming you getting $100 million deals, but not telling nobody how many fights or nothing. That's the same goddamn thing Shakur did when he walked away from the tank negotiations. We didn't know nothing until 2 weeks later. Then he popped out and said, yeah, I'm signed with Eddie Hearn and DAZN Boxing. So at the end of the day, bro, I just try to keep the same energy. If I'm critical of one for doing something I don't like, the other guy does it, I'm gonna be just as critical. And then if I don't like it like that, I might start to really remember times that I think because I'm a fan of yours, I might have fanboyed that situation and then said, no, I can kind of give him a out on it. Because sometimes I just do that. Even if it's a guy I don't like, I try to look at the business decision of why he didn't do or why this thing didn't happen. Am I a big fan of Virgil Ortiz? No. Do I believe what Virgil and his lawyer said as opposed to what Oscar said? I believe Oscar in that situation. Do I always believe Oscar? No. So it's not like I'm picking and choosing when to believe you. It's what you're presenting to me based on the facts. And I don't have to be in the business of boxing or be in somebody's gym to know what's going on. There are professionals who do that. They inform me, and then I make an informative decision, looking at all the information that's given to me. The fine details, I don't know that. I don't even give a shit to know, unless it comes my way and it's really relevant to something. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. If people are ducking and I fuck with you, then you're ducking. Period. Period.
Yeah, that's like the talking point that the dude Big Dog Willie was saying, talking about, well, none of these guys are in their camps. I'm like, well, why are you so opinionated? So you can say whatever the fuck you want, but you ain't in nobody's camp. That's why I was like, you need to shut the fuck up. If you ain't in nobody's camp, then shut the fuck up then. Like, don't be a hypocrite. But I noticed that, man, people allow hypocrites all the time, and they are hypocrites in themselves. That's why I said, man, like, if you can't see no flaw in nothing that Shakur was doing, if you can't see no flaw in nothing that Devin's doing, if you don't see no flaw in nothing that Tank's doing, if you don't see no flaw in nothing that Keyshawn doing, then you playing politics, and the sport of boxing don't need you. It's just period. Like, cause I can be critical. Like I was saying, like I came out, I was on fire the next day after that Lamar. I was pissed off. I said, man, he showed the dude too much respect. He was playing around. His coaches didn't know which round it was. I had so many criticisms, but I can do that. I came out and I said, man, I got you high beating Lorenzo Truck Simpson. Like being up here in Baltimore, that's a cardinal sin to actually do that. Ain't no nigga from New Jersey gonna do that. Ain't nobody from Philly gonna do that. Ain't nobody from Philly gonna tell you that the dude Tamir Smalls really lost that last fight. Maybe not his most recent fight, but that fight when he fought the dude that fought Jaleel Hackett. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. Why? Because they biased. They're biased. And I'm like, man, if you can't be out here doing content and be all in the mess hall with your chest out and then pointing all these fingers at everybody else and you biased as hell. Like, why do you even talk about boxing if you're gonna be biased? Like, I'm gonna keep it right here on Mount Duckmore, aka Mount Rushmore. If you can't see no flaw in what Devin's doing, if you can't see no flaw in what Keyshawn doing, having just missed weight, having not done shit at 40 to be able to warrant himself to be number one at 47, and then losing his belt at 35 and having Abdullah save the day at 35. If you ain't got nothing critical to say about Core, Key, or Devin, you biased.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me that a nigga will have a whole show today about how he's done and everybody's ducking, but he want to pick and choose with who we gonna put the finger at, and he never drew a line in the sand and say, listen, man, all of these cats is doing this. But when it come down to Tank, it's like, yeah, and that's like the common theme. I seen it all on TBV. Like the shit that's going on, think about this. The shit that's going on with Shakur, Keyshawn, and Devin ain't got shit to do with Tank, but his name keeps coming up. And I'm biased. I'm a dick rider. I eat eggplant. It's like, no, like, how is Tank name even, the minute somebody even bring up Tank name, they should get slapped in their fucking mouth. And that's not because I'm eating no Tank eggplant. It's because we're talking about Devin, Shakur, and Keyshawn in the situation at hand. Tank is inactive. And if you've been following my channel, I've been acting like he's been inactive. I have not actively done shit about Tank solo dolo when it's all about Tank, other than respect the shooter or in comparison to what's going on right now, because there's a lot of greatness to be had, but it's looking like everybody still want to be wallflowers. It's like the damn floor open up. It's all these bad bras out on the floor, and don't nobody want to grab nobody's hand or get up on it or jump up on nothing. They just want to stand around and be like, oh man, wait, he danced with her. I would dance with her, man. I put my hand behind my head. I'll do the Dougie on her. You know, I'll do this, I'll do that. But you ain't trying to dance. You ain't trying to get no greatness. Standard getting greatness. Abdullah getting greatness. Brown Norman, he's rebounding. He's going right back at it to get greatness. And you ain't got nothing critical to say about Shakur, Keyshawn, or Devin right now. You biased. I don't want to hear shit you got to say. But if you say the long A sound, soon as you say the T with the long A sound, oh yeah, well Tank, Tank, it's like, no, you shouldn't have shit to say about it. He's inactive right now. And they don't do that. They're just like they shitting on Schofield and your mans, because I had to find his channel. When you hit me up, I had to find his channel. So when I went back and found his channel, I seen the thumbnail when he was talking about how David Benavidez is 50 pounds overweight. 50 pounds overweight for what? When the last time this nigga missed weight?
Word.
But you want that PBC buy-in shit, so you just like everybody else. Politician Junior. This shit
Yeah,
don't
that's
make no
why.
sense, man.
That's why.
Can't nobody really be accountable for themselves and what they be talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But this is why I was gonna say, like, look, I'm subscribed to a lot of those dudes' channels still, and I only pull up on their panels when it seemed like they got something interesting to say or they're trying to run a narrative, and then I'll pull up and I'll, be that silent assassin, hear what you have to say and say, okay, but let me ask you this question. Well, what about this situation when bang, 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 and this, and that? How do you which definitely just puts you right there on the spot. Either you're gonna say some weird shit or you're gonna be forced to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So I don't always that's probably like maybe the fourth or fifth time I pulled up on his panel, but I seen him in other places and he commented on things that I've said, and I was like, yo, pull up and let's have the debate. He was the one that was like, nah, your knowledge is just nope. I'm not even gonna make that mistake. I'll stay right where I'm at in his comments. You feel me? But at the end of the day, when it come down to this situation, yeah, I'm in the same place because I've been on panels and you're trying to talk about the Devin Haney situation, right? Or you're talking about the Keyshawn situation, and then there's always these one or two guys that is like, see, and this is why we don't deal with Tank and the Tankamaniacs and all the Tank fans and yada yada yada, and it's just like, bro, do y'all have Javante Tank Davis syndrome? Like that's the only thing that can come out your mouth. Like everything is not Tank's fault. The universe was not created because of Tank, and it's not like I'm saying that in a way of somebody being, a Tank only fan. I'm saying it in the fact that you just can't keep Tank out of your mouth in a negative manner. You want to bring up salacious thing of what he's accused of outside the ring and then say, no, I don't understand how a person can support this guy. Okay, but there's a guy up there that did the same thing.
And yeah, well, you see video of him, like the video I seen the Tank pushing the girl or shoving her or saying go this way pretty much, but I seen the guy on the far left punching a broad, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
and then the other guy punched a white girl in the face in a rant. So,
and Dana. And when you bring up Dana White, that was his wife.
Yeah.
On film, I seen it. Punching her in the face, like straight up, and y'all just saying for
and
Dana.
That's the point I'm making. It's like, listen, leave that type of stuff alone. We just talking about boxing because at the end of the day, some of your more famous sports figures have even egregious accusations about them. In some of these cases where you guys are mourning people and stuff like that, it was funny that once the NBA lawyer came in, the case went away. But that still didn't stop me from thinking that the guy was a great player. And I knew how to compartmentalize things to say, all right, you got a second chance. Let's see what you do with this. And he moved on to greatness. And I respect him for that. Everybody makes a mistake. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. None of these boxers are perfect. You feel what I'm saying? None of them are perfect. None of them are perfect within the ring because they have bad performances or performances that we question based on the level of hyperbole we've given them or the level of skill we see them based on the level of opponent that they're fighting. So at the end of the day, for me, when I look at this picture right here, this Mount Duckmore, it's pathetic that this stuff is happening now. Yes, for me, I can go back to, all right, Keyshawn Davis. Why did you not want to fight Andy Cruz? And then everyone talking about Andy Cruz is not ready. He's only got this amount of fights, but then when you bring up the Olympics, no. They was amateurs then. No. What about the last time? Keyshawn left out of boxing, went to that Olympic team. It was big news about it. He was expected to grab the gold for that. That was the whole promotion about it. Yeah, Keyshawn's the pro now. He's expected to grab gold this year. Along his rise, beating everybody and doing this thing in there. Yeah, it's expected. Keyshawn's the favorite to get the gold. Now we find out Keyshawn is going to fight Andy Cruz. Within the talk of it here in America, everybody was saying Keyshawn was going to win. He was still expected the favorite. Then he lost. He got the silver medal. Andy Cruz got the gold medal. Keyshawn went back to the pros. He didn't turn pro at that point, which some dudes will try to gaslight you on. He went back to the pros. I've seen this situation with Shakur. I'm looking at a situation right now that's going on with Devin and Shakur. Bro, this is an epidemic right now, and everyone's trying to tell me that these three guys are the future of boxing. I have to admire that picture right there, Tank, like, yeah, right. Them. And I'm a fan of one of these guys. I was a big fan of the other two guys. Until recently, I stopped being a big fan like that of Keyshawn. So for me, this type of conversation breaks my boxing heart. But what gives me hope is the David Benavidez, Bam Rodriguez, Abdullah Mason, Brian Norman Jr. with his loss, O'Shaquie Foster with his losses. And I can name a whole handful of other people. Jahai Tucker, Tiger Johnson, Rohan Polanco. You feel me? Who else? Raymond Morataya. Who else? What's our guy at 140? What's his name again? Tito Mercado.
Salute to ASO Stan.
You
I want to say this. This is what I'll say, AC. When I would listen to that interview and Shakur had a point, he was like, well, who are you for me to be coming up there where you are and this and that? Like, this is the epitome of like the whole how they want to be just like they want everything that came along with Floyd being who he was, but they don't want to do anything to dare to be, even with the mentors. Like he had a guy like Bud who jumped up to 54 and then jumped up to 68. But he can't go up to 40 where he clearly said he was bigger than T.O. for 2 years and then go up 7 pounds. And then you have Tim Bradley online saying, man, 3 pounds is a big deal, man, for these guys talking about what Bam is getting ready to do. I'm like, man, I can't make this up. I'm like, man, Tim, I really wish I could have a conversation with you because you sound dumb as hell. You talking about, man, 3 pounds is a really big deal and all this. Is like, okay, but when you're daring to be great, you don't give a fuck about it, and then you can't have it. That's why I keep going back to my new phrase. Most of these cats that be watching boxing and doing content and speaking on it are bi, because they want it both ways. You can't have it both ways to be able to be recognized as being one of them ones, and then you bitching about 7 pounds. Like, but a guy that's smaller in stature than you, because I always say the tank effect, the tank rule, the tank standard. They said he ducked Conor Ben. I'm like, how the fuck did he duck Conor Ben? It was the same conversation when Jamal was jaw-jacking with David Benavidez and they was a weight class apart. I'm like, well, how can they be ducking? Because when it's your favorite fighter, like Shakur, it's like people have this set in stone set of rules to where it's like Shakur couldn't be possibly ducking Devin. Why? Because he's at 140 and Devin is 147. Well, last time I checked, Tank was at 135. And he the one who did the pound for pound shit, even though they trying to give Devin, like, yeah, Devin doing pound for pound shit and he never ducked smoked. I'm like, bro, who allows you to say this shit? Like, when have you ever seen Devin go up to 54 and then come back down to 40? You haven't. But we seen Tank go up to 40 for Mario Barrios and then drop down and put his 35 title on the line with a guy like Leo Santa Cruz, who's going to be, Leo Santa Cruz is going to be in the Hall of Fame. And when you looked at him, Leo Santa Cruz is bigger than him. Now you got people running around talking about how Lamont Roach is Diesel. And, oh, man, Tim Bradley said, man, I see Lamont Roach, man, that man is Diesel. He's cop Diesel. But they were saying he was undersized and all Tank do is fighting somebody that's small. I'm like, how, Sway? How? Well, he's naturally bigger than Tank. He's just been doing the same thing that all these other niggas have been doing, making the weight at 30. Then he showed you he can compete at 40. You won't touch Mr. Gary Russell at 35, who actually campaigned in that division. He won't even say his name, but he won Gary Antoine. But he ain't pushing for it. It's like, stop, like, man, it's so crazy because Shakur is in a position to where whatever, wow, you can go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, I like the fact that you're an Eagles fan. You got the Eagles logo. I got a tattoo on my shoulder. But you lost, bro.
Yeah.
You might go and kick rocks before you get your motherfucking feelings hurt. So I will kick your ball way over the fence until you go get that shit. And when you come back, I'm a knock the air out of it. But right now, where it's a spot, because I keep saying this, y'all. This is what I want to dawn on y'all. If I was a Tank only fan, and I was a guy, if I was a guy that just dick rolled Tank, like as one of the biggest Tank fans out on the internet, right? He's my number one favorite fighter, right? Then Earl Spence and then Jermell Charlo. Those are my top 3 fighters, right? I would do. You wouldn't have more people out here doing more content about Tank than me. But what I'm saying is, Tank is inactive right now. Right now is a chance for you guys to grab and seize hold of greatness. Like right now, if you really wanted that number 1 spot, you'd be like, oh man, shit, he want to fight, man, shit, fuck it. I'm a bet on myself. I'm gonna fight this nigga at 47, so there's no excuse. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make this fight happen. So if I knock off Devin by default because of the media, because of me going up again, but now I made this comparison earlier. I said, man, Ryan, he was spoiled. But Devin and Shakur are the 2 most baby fighters, and Keyshawn is getting a lot of this. These niggas get babied, and somebody was in the comment section over there on the boxing but talking about, I don't get the difference. So I had to break it down for him. I said, spoiled is getting overwhelming way more than what you truly deserve. Like rich white kids, they get spoiled. Like it's like they get shit that they don't deserve or whatever. Even to a certain extent, I feel like my son was spoiled to a certain extent, to where it's like, to where he didn't appreciate the value of money. Being baby is where they treat you like a newborn when you got a fucking soft spot in your head. Oh man, well Keyshawn and his muscles. I'm like, hold on. And I even heard that, like when I heard that interview, one of the other things that Shakur said was, I'm still growing. AC, you older than me. Man. Check me if I'm wrong. When you 27, 28 years old, like I know your bones get more dense. But like, who the fuck is still growing at 27, 28 years old, bro?
Nah, I don't even know, bro. Unless you just getting fat. You feel you sitting around.
Yeah, like, yeah, you might feel out. You be like, okay. Shorty had a baby, so she finally feeling like if Holly Berry had a baby or Zoe Saldana had a baby. If Zoe had a baby, you be like, damn, like she thick now.
Yeah, 27, I was brolic, bro. I was throwing up damn near 400 pounds, 5'9". That's my height. I'm 5'9". You feel me? I was like, what, 170 something, 172, maybe 171, some shit like that. Everybody was thinking I was 200 plus, but my weight would fluctuate throughout the year. Like when it's the summertime, I would drop down to like 163, 164, but still be big as hell. People were like, yo, what are you, like 200 pounds? I'm like, nah, nigga. You lift weights? No, this is all from calisthenics, push-ups. You feel what I'm saying? So
that's how I was when I went to the army. When I went to the army, I was 153. So this was in 1998. I was 17 years old. I was 153 coming out of high school. I wasn't a big dude, but everybody looked at me, and then as I started growing, like, yeah, I got a little bit heavier, but it was more like, like grown weight. Cause you got that thing where you ain't really got no real weight to you. It's just like your structure is your structure. So I'm like 5'10". I'm 5'10". But I always had shoulders and biceps, and you know what I'm saying? I was always kind of like more muscular than anything. So as I got older, like, I don't recall having a growth spurt after like 26. I don't recall, like, after 25, really. I think like 25 is pretty much, that's it. Like, that's why I always say, the way the game that Keyshawn played, he played them games with Andy Cruz, knowing that Andy Cruz was like 29 years old, like, because he was a long tenured Olympian. Like, he had an extensive amateur pedigree, and so I always knew, like, because of his stature, he's not going to go to 40, bro. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a big fight and it really demands, but like, he's going to be a lifelong 35er, with the exception of, okay, well, my bones then got denser, and I don't really want to, like, almost kind of like what Erislandy Lara doing. That's the kind of fighter he's going to be. You know what I'm saying? So where he going to start sitting down on shit and go up to where his boxing skills allow him, but he's not going to be he's not going to grow anymore. Yeah. So for Shakur to say, one last thing, for Shakur to say, I'm still growing, I'm like, who the fuck is still, and you're older than Devin. But for Tim Bradley coming out talking about, oh, his muscles need to develop and he need to, I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? This man had a baby, he's married. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all talking about? Is growing more.
He's the young prince. He's the young 14-year-old prince who must grow. You know what I'm saying? That's freaking crazy. But to answer Fire's question, it's Devin ducked Rolly. He definitely ducked Rolly, and you're hearing that from a Devin Haney fan. He ducked Rolly, period. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he used the business of boxing, you know. You could also say Ryan as well, because he could have went back and revisited the Ryan fight, because when Ryan and Conor fell out, you feel me? You're not mentioning Ryan's name. So, but here's the thing I wanted to say, because this is a crazy ass talking point, right? Shakur saying he needs time to get to 147 pounds, right? And this is something that just dawned on me, because Body said something that just clicked and put these two thoughts together for me. And I wish I would have made this observation earlier. Shakur said he needs time to get up to 147. We just saw Shakur Stevenson step in the ring with O'Shaquie Foster. And everybody on the internet, even the more dieharded Shakurians, and everybody was like, wow, Shakur is big as hell. Yeah, he definitely looked like he was at least 100, and dudes were saying he looked like he was 160 something pounds, maybe 170. They was like, look at his shoulders, look at the way that look, that's got to be an extra large t-shirt, and look at the way that joint is fitting on him. So at the end of the day, the thing to take away is not the details, but look at how massive he was to O'Shaquie Foster. And that's O'Shaquie Foster rehydrated. That's the thing they don't want to tell you when sometimes they talk. O'Shaquie Foster was rehydrated after weighing in at 130 pounds. So that was a rehydrated 130-pound O'Shaquie, and look at how big or look to him. And you telling me 7 pounds makes a difference? You not going up, homie. You cutting down. You ducking. Even if it's that situation, because the excuse you just made to try to say, no, let's do it as at a catch weight. You are coming down. Devin was coming down. Devin didn't have to fight at 144. He could have just went straight to 147 and fought Brian Norman, because everybody was talking about how big he looked when he tried to punch the guy, when he tried to punch the guy in the face that was at the carnival. They was like, damn, look how big Devin looked. Devin looked like he was damn near 180 pounds. Damn, Shakur looked like he was 160, 170 pounds. But you need time to get to 47?
So now, so AC, so now you see why I be telling these people, like, y'all are bi. Like, just come out the closet and admit that y'all bi because y'all want it both ways. You can't get in there and say, oh man, look how big and Oshaki's too small. Like, since when does Seeking the Smoke, people didn't say, oh man, Bud is too small. No, they say, oh, he's daring to be great. And everybody they were conducive or supportive for Bud to make that jump. But then when you see him in the ring with Oshaki, oh man, he too small. They just, oh man, I would just rather see Navarrete. Now all of a sudden y'all want to pull Navarrete up out of the motherfucking woodwork because y'all see them standing. First of all, he had taller shoes. He wasn't at his fight weight. That wasn't Oshaki's walk around weight. Now he don't get much bigger than that. But at the same time, the thing is, the nigga fought at 40 before. Oshaki's fought at 40 before. Like, that's the whole thing. So y'all, people be wanting it both ways. So it's like y'all use that as a measure for him not to fight Oshaki when he said, man, if you fight my little man's, you know what I'm saying, dust him off, then I gotta see you. And then you just like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. And you got in the ring. And remember, that's the other thing. That's why I said I could have cooked that interview so much because he said, man, once you get in the ring, I'm like, but I was thinking, I said, hold on, you got in the ring with Oshaki, nigga. Remember when he said that? And then I don't know if you watched it, but he said, man, when you get in the ring, he was talking about, man, when you get in the ring, he's like, man, once you get in the ring, it's pretty much over, it's done, whatever. I'm like, but you got in the ring with Oshaki, bro. So that's what I be saying, like, it's cognitive dissonance at a whole nother level. Cognitive dissonance, like squared. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't get it.
Yeah. It's on the level of just like, okay, I understand. I'm gonna give you a break. I don't pull up on all your joints, but I'll give you a break because I understand the lane you're trying to put yourself in as a creator. Do I respect the fact that you're choosing this type of lane? Not 100%, but I get it. You feel what I'm saying? Because you may be one of these people that wants to make a business out of it. And if that's what you want to do, hey, do the showbiz thing. I don't care. You feel what I'm saying? I'll pull up if you have me. You know, you'll know I'll always speak my mind, speak my piece, and I'll be as respectful as possible as long as everybody on the panel is respectful. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me a question on how I came to a decision and then debate me on you telling me I'm wrong in how I came to that decision because you want to push a narrative. I watched the video. I'm focusing on one part of the video. You're telling me I'm wrong because I'm not mentioning another part of the video that did happen. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue the semantics with you. I'm not going to do that. And how can you tell me how I got to a decision? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I rock with a fighter, I rock with the fighter. At the end of the day, if I rock with your channel, I rock with your channel. If I respect what you do, I respect what you do. I don't always have to agree. I resubscribe to Fanon's channel just because it's a different perspective. And I'd be like, yo, this dude be saying the wildest stuff these days. And half the time I don't agree, but it makes me laugh because it's so egregious. I just have to laugh at him like, Fanon, you still trying. And I see you trying on an independent level, but maybe some of that is a little cringe-worthy, probably if you watch your own replay. But you know, there are times where he just be on it like bang, 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 and I'm like, whoa, whoa.
He do. That's why I said I just wish, and I'm the one that's doing that. I'm the one that's gonna take all the criticism for telling the nigga, like, man, just get back to your glory, bro. Get back to what made you. They had me like, you know what I'm saying, like a fiend in the morning, like, oh man, Fanon about to come on. I know he got this. Get me back to that, but stop doing this bullshit you're doing. But he came out here recently and said, sometimes I go into delusional land. But he got a bunch of people that, like I said, like the same way they did the LDBC, where they go over there, they subscribe, they get ingratiated, they get Like if they got a channel, then they get the members from there, and then finally, when they finally say something, they're gonna be off. Like how Southpaw did them, how that Broad did them. I think KO is kind of doing it. Just Do, he'll come by. Greg Hackett, they'll do it. But it's really the game, the members that's in the chat. Like they don't fuck with them, because if they fuck with him, they'll tell him, hey man, dude, you sound a little crazy right now. But he just came out and said that his wife be telling him, like, man, you sound delusional. I'm like, that's what my lady would be doing for me. My lady would be like, hey man, no more online for you, bro, because you sounding delusional. And I'll be off. But let me address what Free Smoke's saying, because Free Smoke is cooking in the motherfucking chat. This is what bothers me. I'm gonna be Shakur specific. The man can and his fans blatantly point this out. The man was like, I will fight Conor Ben at 54. They gave him the excuse saying that, oh yeah, but I will do him just like he did Eubanks. As if he's related to Eubanks. You're not related to them. Like, that's a family feud. That's like the Doyles and the Hatfields and the McCoys. That's like some old shit that was like, that was already baked in for them to do that. But you'll go and he'll openly tell you, well, that's Conor Ben. He don't have the skills like that. So it's like, so you will openly tell me that this man is openly cherry picking Conor Ben because he know his skill set ain't like that. So he's willing to do that. But when it comes to somebody that got a certain set of skills like Devin, he ain't going to do that. That's a duck! So if you're from New Jersey and all you do is content and you back Shakur and that's like your main claim to fame, that's your bread and butter, that's a fucking duck! Devin? People with this guy, Glencoe Big Fish is saying, as far as Devin and Ryan, I believe to a certain extent, Ryan, he pretty much want to get in there with almost everybody. Almost, right? But I don't have no knock on Ryan. I just think that Ryan finally found himself and he broke through when he got the Barrios fight. Because remember, Ryan and Conor Ben was at the same status where they got all this status, they get all this money. People want to see them fight, but they never got any accolade. They hadn't even won a title. Like, Ben has still not won a title, but he's making more money than most of these niggas that never even got a title. More than these niggas that had titles. Ryan, he just got off the pot when he beat Mario Barrios for the title. So Ryan just came of age. He just, when they say shit or get off the pot, he just shit. He just shitted on Mario Barrios and stood up over the pot. Okay, cool. Right? But when it comes down to Devin, don't gaslight me and try to tell me that y'all, like most people that be shit on Rolly right now at this point in time, y'all not just using the fact that most people could just shit on the PBC and blame the PBC, because that's a common narrative. They blame everything. Like right now, the fact that people are saying David Benavidez is ducking any motherfucking body in the sport, you know that's some bullshit. You know that's some bullshit. When he was getting ready to fight Bivol the first time, Turkey Al-Sheikh came through and told Bivol, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And Beterbiev was trying to get the trilogy to Bivol. So now they just inserted old man Beterbiev, saying, oh man, well, he's ducking Beterbiev. It's like, no, he not. And now they trying to say that he's ducking Jal Batai. I'm like, well, Jal Batai went over to Zuffa. What the fuck are y'all talking about? And so that's David Benavidez's fault? When all he had to do was stay there, defend his belt, he could have did it against the guy, Brandon Glanton, because he was like number 12 or number 11 prior to the Zuffa. Automatically, when he fought on Zuffa, he was number 10. But I swear he was like number 11 or number 10 because me and AC be on that shit. And they moved him up to number 10. He didn't have to go over to Zuffa to do that. And now the narrative is that David Benavidez is ducking Beterbiev. But it's odd. But let me paint a picture for you. What Earl Spence is doing is fucked up. Why? He's with the PBC. Fundora is ducking, and Fundora didn't want nothing. Why? Because he fought Keith Thurman. Benavidez is ducking. He's ducking Bivol. He's ducking Beterbiev. He don't want no smoke all of a sudden when he was your favorite fighter. He was Shakur's favorite fighter until Benavidez told Ryan, nah, man, fuck that shit, man. Don't go down to 40. Make that nigga come up to 47 or no fight. And Ryan came out and said that all of a sudden Shakur had something bad. Well, tell him to go up and fight Usyk. And then Usyk just got his ass waxed by Rico, but don't nobody want to say nothing. The common denominator is PBC. Not to mention that when Rowley sent the offer to Devin, which is for unification, and unifications trump mandatories, and it was a lucrative deal because people was going to buy that fight. But all of a sudden, it's still Rowley. So the common denominator is Benavidez is ducking. Earl Spence is making the wrong move by going over there and fighting Tim Tszyu. Fundora is ducking. Rowley didn't really want to fight Devin. What's the common denominator? And Tank is ducking everybody. What's the common denominator? They all part of the PBC. So miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah, can I come in with this body?
Bro.
Hey, I was actually writing it down. Here's my take on it, right? And this is something I'm saying. If the PBC signed with Sky Sports and made that deal with the Zone, as the Zone airing their fights on the DAZN platform, watch how everybody would praise PBC. Oh, this is even better. Now we're gonna get all the fights because everybody there right now. Yo, the PBC and the PBC got fighters. Yeah, they put the PBC in the mix. Yeah, things about to heat up. So why would you be excited now when you're over there constantly criticizing them? You feel what I'm saying? So I'm saying that with real life experience, because when Top Rank, ESPN drops Top Rank, people thought Top Rank was done. Oh, Top Rank finished. They ain't got nobody in Top Rank, and Bob ain't willing to do this, and Bob ain't willing to do that, and oh yeah, Top Rank boxing is pretty much done. They gonna be trying to do stuff with this. Oh my God, Top Rank just signed. Oh, did y'all hear Top Rank just signed with Pro Box? Yeah, Top Rank finished. Then we hear Top Rank is in talk with PBC. Oh, Top Rank is, they might go over here. Then we hear Top Rank says, you know what? We're gonna sign with the DAZN platform. Now everybody like Top Rank. Even though they just try to say it's the Top Rank diet, which is real. Is a real name for it. If that's in this media era, this is the catchy name that we're going to use for it, which is befitting. But at the end of the day, if you look at that trend, you know what I'm saying? For me, I believe if PBC went over there and signed to it, they have no problem with it. But it's just in general. You feel what I'm saying? It's just in general, because PBC was never big on European fighters. This is probably the reason why this underlying criticism is there like that. Although they never had any problem with making big fights with European fighters, they just in my recollection, if correct me if I'm wrong, I just don't remember them having like a featured European fighter. Their focus was pretty much on just American talent. I'll just put it like that. The bulk of it was minority American talent. Because the way I look at it, it might have been PBC that broke the standard when it came down to signing Canelo, and I think Canelo might have got his first big deal. I don't know if it was Top Rank or it was PBC. I'm kind of leaning towards PBC because I remember those 50 million and 75 million deals that were out there and stuff like that.
It was PBC and Matron, but
okay.
But just in general, let me insert this. The channel, the little nigga, the comedian from Florida, it was so crazy because it's like this shit sticks out to me, especially being an HVAC tech, having to be aware of like troubleshooting and all that. Like, so when I see and hear a problem, it jumps out there when it's not, when it's in a regular pattern, because that's how you troubleshoot. When something becomes irregular,
yeah.
When this happens, that happens, and you know this as a chef. Like when this, you explained it the other day. Like when you don't set the egg at this temperature and it's going to affect everything later down. Like that's the same shit like in troubleshooting. You notice these trends, but it was real odd how he went on an emphasis to say, and you definitely know Al ain't paying nobody this and this and that. And I'm like, but I thought about it. I said, hold on, man. Under whose regime did Floyd get the money that he got? Under whose regime did Canelo get the money that he got? Under whose regime did Earl become the man that he was? Under whose regime did Tank become the man that he was? Under whose regime did every Brown fighter, when you go down to Leo Santa Cruz, David Benavidez, like even the Canelo deal, under whose regime? That was under Al.
Yeah.
Canelo was the one that was probably the smartest one to be able to be like, he's gonna leverage, you know, what he got with them, and Canelo came out himself said, I love Al, like I love what's going on. He just used his business acumen and his leverage to be able to leverage what he would leverage Backroom and PBC, because remember, it was a deal where he was going to fight. He had a fight where he was going to fight somebody, and it was going to be Earl, and it was going to be Maul Charlo. And then I think he got pissed off because they said at last minute, they said that Al tried to insert David Benavidez.
Yeah, I remember that deal. Yeah, that was that 75 million.
And he went off, but then he leveraged what he got with Matchroom, and then he played Matchroom. So he was ping-ponging it. Yeah. He had ping-ponged it because he had the leverage. But like, I'm like, when you look at the history of Al, what he's been able to do with Floyd, Tank, Earl, even Keith before, like, because Keith ain't getting no blockbuster number. When you look at all them PBC guys who had the it factor, I ain't never heard nobody complain. Like, you might have heard some shit about Adrian Broner, but like, you see, Adrian Broner was literally burning money, and he came around because he got pissed off and he said some shit that he didn't need to say, and he came back the next day and was like, nah, man, I gotta be honest, man, I love Al. He took care of me.
That was funny as hell.
They were trying to say that Al was pretty much keeping his money and withholding all this negative shit. And I find it real funny that the black man always shit on Al as another black man, and people love to. It's always like, just like Rolly. I just highlighted Rolly is getting the short end of the stick right now. Tank get the short end of the stick right now. They shitting on Earl coming back to fight Tim Tszyu. But anybody really affiliated with Gary Antoine Russell, he don't get the notoriety he need, being at 40, the guy that Shakur really should be fighting to wipe away all of this shit. But nobody gives him no credit. In the common denominator, you cannot deny the elephant in the room is that these guys are all PBC. And now David Benavidez is ducking Jao Battaglia. The nigga that showed that, listen, when Canelo said, hey, go fight this guy and this guy. Go fight Caleb Plant. Go fight Andre. He did that shit, and Canelo still didn't fight him. And then Canelo came out and said, "I want $200 million to fight this nigga." He still didn't fight him.
Exactly.
Said, "Listen, man, I'll take $1 million, man. I just want to fight, whatever." But the common denominator is, if you're affiliated with the PBC, everybody in social media, everybody online gonna shit on you because they know that ain't nobody gonna be out here advocating for the PBC, and you can get away with it, and it sounds good. And everybody will be like, yeah, that's right. But it's not right. That's not right and exact. That's not true at all. So I don't tolerate that. If it's some shit that PBC do, right, and it's worthy of slander, then I'll say it. But if it's not worthy of slander, I'm not gonna let that shit ride. I gotta address
it. Now, Body, this in the vein that you ended off with Benavidez. Here's the thing, I think it was Fanon that might have broke it. He was talking about in the original deal, in the original $75 million offer that the PBC presented to Canelo Alvarez, the third fight was always David Benavidez. He knew that. That's why they said, you know, I forgot what what was the actual one of the actual talking points, but I remember the fact that there were several channels, breaking that same story. That, hey, wait a minute, we're just finding out in the original deal that was on the table for that $75 million, David Benavidez was the third fight. That's why he was ping ponging and trying to get a better deal, because he just didn't want to fight David Benavidez. And then they tried to use the fact that at the last minute they sprung this on him. No. You saw that in the original deal. Al was emphatic, and they said Tom Brown was emphatic that you're not getting the deal without fighting David Benavidez. It was Maul, or no, it was supposed to be. I don't know the order because he fought the order differently. It was supposed to be Maul, Caleb Plant, and then David Benavidez. That was the original deal, or something to that effect. And then Earl was inserted because Caleb Plant might have been sketchy at that time, so they were willing to swap out from what some of the talk was. And this the part that was like, I don't know about all of that. I don't know how actually the Earl and Canelo thing actually started. But the thing that kind of made sense was it was originally supposed to be Caleb Plant, and then Earl was asked to be the backup. You feel what I'm saying? And all of this was at 160. So that's the reason why Earl said, no, I don't need Bud right now because I can easily go up to 160 and fight Canelo Alvarez, which pissed off every Bud fan. But once I heard that dynamic, I was like, oh, that makes sense of why he said it like that. And was
what I think it was, AC, was I think it was Maul. I think it was Maul and Errol Spence, and then David Benavidez. But what wound up happening was, because Caleb Plant, that was pretty much already a done deal. He was the last one that tied up, because remember, Canelo left. He pulled the Bud, like when Bud.
Yeah.
He was undisputed. He pulled that shit where he went for Evan Negan and left Earl at the altar. Canelo did the same thing. He left Plant at the altar because Caleb wanted like 10 mil. So Caleb was already out the way. But the deal was Maul, Earl, and David Benavidez. And they tried to make it like because Al sprang David Benavidez on him last minute. Like, it's like, no, I didn't sign up for this and this and that. And that's when we found out that he wanted 200 million. But what wound up happening was Mel stepped in the place of Maul. That was already done behind closed doors before they actually released it to the public. So he already knew. That's why Jamel was moving the way he moved, because he already had that in the bag. And then Earl lost to Bud, so that kind of killed that whole Earl going up and fighting him, because remember, he was like, oh man, he's gonna try to go up and fight Canelo, because remember, that's what it was always, what Earl had said, man, I'm gonna go fight Canelo, and everybody like, huh, what, you gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? So that's really how I was following it close.
That's why I was relating it to the 160-pound deal, not the 168 deal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I'm talking about is when Canelo was at 160 and he went to the PBC, and instead of either one of those, he wound up fighting I gotta go back and see the name, because if I see the name, I can tell you who he wound up fighting within that deal. And then the other opponent he was supposed to fight,
he fought Jacob. He fought Danny Jacobs. He fought Ryder, John Ryder.
I think it was the Ryder fight.
Fight.
That was on PBC, right?
Mexico. Yeah.
That was a PBC fight, correct?
Mm-hmm. Because he was with PBC, yeah.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be the first fight of that $75 million deal at 160.
But the common denominator, y'all, and I'm gonna say this, man. This is why I say, man, it don't gotta be me. It don't gotta be this channel. It don't gotta be the Bodywork channel. It don't gotta be AC. Because AC is not all things PBC. And contrary to popular belief, I'm not all things PBC. I just see that much like some of these fighters who don't get the recognition that they deserve. Because this channel I will admit, this channel do pull for the underdogs. This channel do pull for the guys who who major media don't cover. We do. I take an active role because I'm like, man, we gotta have some kind of balance. If not, it's just like everybody siding with the bullies in high school, and you're just gonna ride with the bullies. It's like we're not gonna do that. But the common denominator is we gotta be more objective, and not subjective. And what I'm seeing a lot of the time is that a lot of these channels, a lot of people that have the voices and they have popularity and they have people that have some kind of influence, you always conveniently find a way to make it about a PBC fighter and what they didn't do. It's no irony. I know this pattern because I was in HVAC. I used to have to troubleshoot, and when I see these patterns, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like when you looking at a crossword puzzle, and it's the seafood crossword puzzle, and you see crawfish. Like when soon as you look at all of the letters, crawfish just jumps out. It's like, oh, okay, y'all just automatically just gonna default to it's PBC fault. Like no matter what, like somehow conveniently it's Rolly's fault. Tank ain't worth shit. Jamel, he ain't about blah blah blah. Benavidez now he's ducking. It's like the common denominator is PBC. It can't be more glaring, and unless it's like in them crime scenes when they come out and they spray that liquid to where they see his blood all on the walls. It's like y'all got it's blood all on the walls for PBC, and y'all gotta stop that shit, man.
Yeah.
The PBC PBC has made the most rich black and brown fighters out here. So what do we be talking about? Why do y'all do that? If you out here listening, like why do you allow your favorite content creator to make it seem like it's all about the PBC and the PBC is always wrong and the deals are always fucked up and ain't nobody getting paid? I ain't never heard not one single solitary motherfucker from the PBC complain. I got a video from like 4 or 5 years ago that I did when I used to do what I used to call it it was about Teddy Atlas. And Teddy Atlas said, man, all I want for Christmas is for Al Heyman to be my promoter. Why? Because we know how to get his fighters getting paid. That was Teddy Atlas. Bro. He knew it at the time, and everybody knew it. But we can't make it to where because it look like the PBC is down and out, and everybody playing hardball and turkeys between Turkey and Dana. They paying so much money to get people to come over to them because they're overpaying them 3 to 5 times the amount that their market value. Then now there's something wrong with the PBC. No, the PBC has always put on events to where they made it to where it was profitable. To where if they put on an event, then everybody's gonna get paid. Yeah, it might be a cost to the fans, but you're gonna get everything that's worth it, and the fighters are gonna get what they need to get. Now, all of a sudden, because he who controls the printed page dictates the thinking of this age, and social media has grabbed a hold of it. Now it just happens to be the fighter from the PBC's fault as to why the deal didn't go through or do whatever. That's bullshit, y'all. That's bullshit.
Bro, I have to say this. Let me make this correction. That was at 168. That deal was offered at 168. So he was at 168. I had the weight class wrong, and I don't mind saying, yeah, I had that number wrong, and stuff like that. That's probably why it was a bit confusing and got a little awkward there, because I was wrong on the weight class, and I apologize for that.
Word. And we do that here. So that's normal. Yeah, we'll go back and research because we want to be right and exact. And I do that as well. So I'm glad. That's why AC be the, you know what I'm saying? That's why AC is on here all the time, because you know, he's humble. And if we make a mistake, if we miss it, that's why I say, man, we have our opinions. Sometimes we wrong. We make predictions. We draw a line in the sand. We'll eat crow if we need to. But we're not going to bullshit you. We're not going to get out here, like, just because he's a Devin fan, you're not going to get out here and put on no knee pads for Devin. He could be like, nah, man, you duck Rolly. But I like your odds against Keyshawn. The same way I did. Like, man, I ain't see you doing it to Brian Norman, but I like your odds against Keyshawn. Well, I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the channel, man. So we'll make corrections, we'll make adjustments, and your favorite content creator ain't doing that. They just going
it's like the fighter
forward, and they're gonna make somebody call them out, but because of their popularity and numbers and people don't want to get shunned, you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna say nothing. We're gonna say something, and we don't care.
Yeah, love me or hate me, but at least you gonna know I ain't never tell you no lie. You know, that's an old saying. I don't know if it was just my family, but I kind of grew up with the people in my circle and my family. That was like a saying we would always say. It's like, listen, always be honest with people. Don't let nobody, you know, put you in a position where you're not being honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with nobody. You know what I'm saying? They could love you, they could hate you, but one thing they'll never know is you never bullshitted them and you never lied to them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Listen, this is the other thing, man. This is a public service announcement. I did a commentary because I rock with Tim Bradley, man, when he's in a certain vein, and I don't rock with him when he's in a different vein. It's like Tim Bradley got two faces. It's like when he come out, because me and AC notice it, because AC, sometimes I might see some shit and I don't say nothing because I'm like, man, I don't want to hit AC up too much or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't say nothing, and then AC hit me up like, man, you see that interview with Tim Bradley? I'm like, bro, I was gonna talk to you about that, bro. You see that shit? And we'll go back and forth. But listen, this is what I want to tell y'all. For years, Tim Bradley has been covering Shakur's bullshit. And I'm like, man, Tim, you a Hall of Famer. Like, you the OG. You could set the precedence. You can set that train right on the tracks and then make it the way it need to be. But because you got Tim Bradley, you got Andre Ward, you got you got Bud now, he's retired. You got all these Hall of Famers or whatever. And we came out with I got a thumbnail, read the room. I see everybody saying read the room now and all this. I'm like, yeah, read the room. Even Floyd was in that picture. So you had a picture with Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Tim Bradley, and Shakur. And for years, Tim Bradley had been covering up and making concessions for Shakur. He was like the backbone, right? And I'm like, I was saying, man, Tim, you don't have to do that, bro. Like, you already in the Hall of Fame. People respect you. We didn't think he was a knockout artist or an all-time great, but you made it to the Hall of Fame and people respect it. You shared the ring. You got a victory over Pacquiao. I didn't agree with it, the first one, especially. I didn't agree with it, but you got it. You know what I'm saying? So nobody can discount it. And we respect you because you get hit in the head for a living. I always say this. Regardless of how much you think I talk shit about all these boxers, I respect all of these boxers because they get hit in the head for a living. Their profession might be a little bit more dangerous than mine because I'm most of the time, 90% of the time, I'm behind the wheel, driving, which is the most dangerous thing you can do, operate a vehicle, right? But for years, Tim Bradley had been advocating and protecting and putting up all these roadblocks, all these safeguards, like wiping away, making excuses for all this. And guess what happened? Guess what wound up happening? Shakur wound up coming out and saying, I don't got no more respect for Tim Bradley. Shakur said this, I don't got no more respect for Tim Bradley. I don't give a fuck what he say. He'll never be back on this. He'll never be back on that. Why? Because Tim Bradley told the truth about him. And my point is this. You can do all this cocksucking.
You can put on these knee pads, you can put on all this throat coat, all this tonsil jewelry, you can put out the reach around extender, you can do all of that. But when the boxer himself decides that he ain't fucking with you and he let the media know and the public know he ain't fucking with you, you're gonna be looking dumb as hell. Like Tim be looking dumb as hell now, still advocating for Shakur when Shakur pretty much came on and said, man, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you say. You'll never be in my good graces. Why? Because he gave honest dialogue. That's why I say it don't benefit me to lie about a motherfucker. It don't benefit me to just be all on Tank Eggplant and all that. That's why I don't do that. I don't go out of my way. I make it a point not to unless somebody bring it my way. Now I do highlight the guys that are on the lower level. I do highlight the guys that I think the business of boxing are doing an injustice to. I do highlight the guys that are moving in a manner that's going to cater to the vitality of the sport. But I'm trying to tell y'all out here in the public, a PSA, all that eggplant eating y'all do for your favorite fighters, when your favorite fighter don't fuck with you, because I can say one thing, and I think this is why I don't get people that come onto my channel. Here recently, I reached out to Brian Norman Jr. I say, I need you on the channel, champ. I reached out to Blair the Flair Cobbs. I need you on the channel, champ. And I know they know, I know that they see, you know, the contributions I've made to their career. And I've actually had the pleasure of interviewing Blair. I even messaged Blair when TBV was you know, talking about him, and I was like, hey man, they over here talking about you, bro. Like, you might want to get up there and speak your piece. And this is when he was trying to say he wanted to fight Devin on February the 14th. This was like late 2023 going into 2024, and he popped right up on TBV. So he didn't respond to me directly, but he popped right up on there. So I'm like, yeah, he got the message. But like, sometimes these guys are told, hey, don't be affiliated with these guys and this guys and that. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to bend over backward to try to get no interview or do nothing. I'm just going to be myself. But my point is, it don't make no sense for y'all to do all this eggplant eating. Why? Because when your favorite boxer, when you're critical of them, and you finally do what Showbiz just did, when I told Showbiz in his comment, and I'll tell you, I will never say nothing to nobody in the comment section or on the channel or get up on a panel that I won't say to your face. And I told Showbiz years ago, because I used to love Showbiz. I thought he was genius with the eyes. When he came out, I would clock in and all that, and then I saw the change. I was like, "Oh man, you about to sell out? Oh, you selling out, right?" Yeah. And then I told him we had a long message, and he pretty much read me my rights in the thing. And I said, "Listen, man, the difference between me and you is that I pretty much feel like you're for sale and I'm not. So you're willing to do things that I'm not willing to do. And long story short, it don't matter all the eggplant you do, all the eggplant eating." The throat coat spraying, the tonsil jewelry displaying, the reach around extending, like all of the tonsil jewelry, all of that. It don't matter, because when your favorite fighter say, hey man, I don't like what you said, he gonna be done with you regardless. And there's nothing you're gonna be able to do for it. So you might as well just keep it the way I decided to keep it in the vein on this channel, to where it's like, no matter what, we just gonna come out and assess what we see, and we're gonna speak on it straight up. Whether it hurts your feelings, like, because I'm gonna land right here, AC. I'm gonna land right here. The night after I saw the Lamont Road versus Tank fight, AC can attest to this. I was on fire the next day. I said, man, Tank gave this dude too much respect. He was playing around. His coaches didn't know which round it was. He had way too many heads in the corner. That shit where he took the knee and then he went over to the corner and have somebody wipe him down. I wasn't with none of that shit. And contrary to popular belief, there are people that's out here that be flogging and faking like they're bigger Tank fans than me. But I was a Tank fan before them, and I would argue with them when they were Devin fans, and they converted over. And people give them credit because now they're like the go-to for being the Tank fan, and not the people that like Captain Egghead who play politics. One day he's Shakur, one day he's Tank, one day he's Bud, one day he's Earl. I don't do that. I draw my line in the sand and I stick with it. But when you fucking up, I say, listen. And I've never felt like if I ever ran in the Tank, he'd be like, oh man, you ever did me wrong. It's like, no, I just spoke the truth. All that eggplant eating you do, all this other shit that you doing for your favorite fighter, it ain't gonna mean nothing when that guy figure like, oh man, he finally telling the truth. Like what like what Showbiz did, where now he's finally coming around saying that Shakur is a duck. I'm like, bro, you've been playing politics for 3 years, bro. I told you this about Devin. I told you this about Shakur. I told you about a couple of people, but you wanted to play the political game, and then yes, you rose to a level to where it's like, okay, you all on the zone. I don't know what kind of bag you getting. I don't care. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? As a get your money. I would never hate another person that's like myself. I would never do that. But I'm just saying that it really does you no justice when you out here capping and caping for somebody just because of affiliation or trying not to offend nobody or trying to like have political gain. Because when the boxer or the media decide they're going to cancel you or you said something that's contrary, it's going to be over for you anyway. So why not just tell the truth the whole time? That way you don't ever have to change. And that's the vein of what we do over here. Regardless of who we rooting for, who we picking to win, no matter what, we just going to tell you the truth. We're not going to cap or cape. Why? That's the point. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was getting at. Well, go ahead, AC.
Where I was gonna, you said something earlier, and it made me remember. Remember when I texted you and I said, "Yo, I thought of a name for these type of dudes." When you was talking earlier, it brought it to me, and I was calling them these Gemini dudes because they have two faces. And I said I would be revealing my age when I go back to Thundar, the Barbarian, and the villain in that TV show was this dude named Gemini. He had on one side that the helmet that he wear covers the other face that he has, so his head would constantly spin around, showing two different faces and stuff like that. If anybody remember He-Man had the character Many Faces. You feel what I'm saying? And these type of people remind me of them, some of these content creators, because they say certain things and then it comes down to this: good cop, bad cop. That's when they know they got you in the trap, because then they can start to play you on the good cop, bad cop. Because one argument they're saying one thing, but then still trying to, I spoke on it, but I also gave you the reason why, and that was the business of boxing. So if you try to come at me with anything else after that, then you don't know the business of boxing. Oh, just because you rationalized it through something of gaslighting and people not really caring about the fine details of fights and stuff like that, and then you want these guys to get up, then these guys come up there talking about, I'm in the fight game and yada yada yada, and the thing is social media, and they start talking negative about it, and then you pull a card and say, well, hold on. In this era of social media, is there not people that are part of promotional companies that just watch the algorithm, look at the big names, see the topic, and then look at who tuned in, who did, you know what I'm saying? How many, how long was the live? How many people pulled up on the live? You feel what I'm saying? These type of things, they, you can get if you're in that data-driven space, and you use that information to make a fight. And I said it's justified when the fights are actually made, and you're at the press conference, and the host or the guy who's going to be in the ring or whatever, he's saying, this is a fight that the fans been asking for. This is the fight that's been driving social media crazy. That everybody's talking about it. Everybody's making content on it. So why would you come up here and say that the space we're in is not relevant? You can't believe people in this space. You gotta yada, 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 when it all has a place. Like I said with you before, bad content creators and the guys who are feeding you narratives and stuff like that, it has a place for those fans who just don't give a shit. I need the Cliff Note version of this. And if you're going to be heavy on your opinion and have me tune in and subscribe to your channel and do this, that's the business side of what this person is doing. But every once in a while, a broken clock is right. I mean, twice a day, a broken clock is right. Showbiz proved it. Timothy Bradley proved it. Because as soon as Shakur turned on him, he was like, look, here's the deal. Shakur just need to go out there, live up to his word, be a man, and fight O'Shaquie Foster. Yeah, I said it. He needs to fight O'Shaquie Foster. Otherwise, it don't look good. Yeah. People can call it a duck. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, your favorite fighter just ducked somebody. And it's like, wow, you quote that. Well, I didn't see that video. And he didn't specifically say he ducked. And Shakur didn't specifically say that he'll fight O'Shaquie. Yes, he did, because he tweeted after the fact, after he got out the ring. Tell your man he better come up to 140. If you want that fight, I'll see him in blah, 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 blah. What else do you need? Here's the thing. I think so far this year, Shakur stepped in the ring on two fighters. Stepped in the ring in Conor Ben, and he stepped in the ring with O'Shaquie Foster. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, here's the funny part. Your boy is out here bluffing, and he's getting famous off of it. When have we seen one fighter step in the ring with two different fighters, talk crap like I'm about to fight you, and don't fight neither one of them? When have you ever seen that in boxing? Like, observe what's going on, and you're going to tell me a dude like that deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of boxing? Once you step in the ring, it's a done deal. You stepped in the ring with that. You stepped in the ring with young Devin Haney. And then Devin Haney got the F out of Dodge, and you said Loma won, and everybody gave you the props, like, yeah, he ran Devin up out that ring.
What's up? What's up, Major Key? What's happening, Brody? Salute, bro.
What's going on, Pop?
I appreciate you being vocal, but I wanted to clear something up. Like, I do. Okay, so I guess you want just don't want to let us know that you're real. I appreciate it, but like, I want to clear something up. I do recognize the genius in Coach Malachi. He has a great show. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's entertaining, but I do know that, like you said in the comment, he plays the algorithm. And so for me, I just believe, and I said this the other day, and I think it might have went over a couple people's heads, and this is the same problem that I have with a guy that I highly respect and admire, in Fanon. Now, the way that boxing is set up right now, and the way that everything is going, there is no time to be able to play both sides. Like, we cannot afford to be able to play both sides, be political and all this, because when it's something that needs to be said, we need people that have the cojones to say what they need to say and stand on it. You can't play this way because, oh man, I got a demographic that like this, and I got a demographic. Meanwhile, boxing is falling at the wayside. And the evidence is, don't take my word for it, but just as early as today, Coach Malachi talking about, I'm about to go cover soccer or hockey. Why are you about to go cover soccer or hockey? Because boxing is dying. And when you say boxing is dying, or it's falling by the wayside, or it's becoming WWE, it's like, oh, here you go. And I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. And I'm like, we don't have the time. We can't afford to be able to be out here playing politics because, you don't want to lose, 20% of your audience because you're going to say some shit that's real and exact. And then you're going to play both sides. Like, you're not going to cook Bill because you got a relationship with him and he be bullshitting. So you're not going to cook him like AC. AC is the realest. This is why I said this is why I say, man, AC, you can have your own segment. You could do whatever you want. Like, I'm always going to rock with you because we've had our disagreements. We went head to head. He's a Devin Haney fan. I'm a Tank fan. And that's like the balance. So he balanced me out. He balanced me out on Devin. I balanced him out on Tank. And then we come to, we don't always agree. He's not a yes man. He's not just going to get up here and be like, everything you say, Body, I'm with it. It's like, no, we have the same kind of boxing mind and logic, especially with the tenure we have. But he's not going to be eating eggplant just because I say whatever it is. So I'm thinking that right now, in the critical state of boxing, we need people that's going to stand on shit and say what it is to nip it in the bud, because you have influence. Coach got way more influence than me. So if he came out and been real and more exact about certain things, he's going to change and influence a whole bunch of people that's going to stop.
You just went out.
Running around with that. He's been more in line with me checking with him before, because for a while, Ness probably thought I was a troll. And I'm like, nah, I rock with you, Ness, but like lately you've been on some bullshit, and I know it's because your affiliation with a certain boxer. It's like boxing is getting anemic and it's on life support, and we can't afford to be playing politics right now. Like right now, we got to be as real as ever to get the message across and influence as many people to get in line with things and actions and say things that's going to get these boxers in line with what's going to preserve the sport. We can't be doing that politics shit right now. And that's my only problem. That's my only problem.
Hey, my brother, that was my bad, man. How y'all doing?
What's going on, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Yeah, I had to adjust the StreamYard settings for some reason. I'm not sure why that changed since the last time I was on, but yeah, no, I heard what you were saying. Man. Look, hey, I'm not mad at any, you know what I'm saying, any thoughts that you have, opinions about others, because I got opinions about, you know what I'm saying, like certain people that you rock with and stuff like that. It's all good, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that when it comes to Coach, like I remember, you know what I'm saying, like I rocked with him. Before he had like even 500 subscribers, bro. You know what I'm saying? I connected with him. You know what I'm saying? I told him, yo, your energy is great, bro. If you can maintain this energy, you know what I'm saying? I think you're gonna be great at what you do. And I started inviting him to do you know, some of the interviews that I was doing on my channel back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the dude like completely bypassed me, and I know his mental. I've talked to him personally on the phone, bro. Like, you know, off the record. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know what he does, and what he does is very strategic. And you know what I'm saying? He just, where you are you guys out from Florida, from Miami, or anything like that, or where y'all guys from?
I'm from New York.
Okay, all right. So I was raised in the BX till 16 years old, and I moved to Miami 1996. Literally,
that shit don't go nowhere.
No, it doesn't, bro. I'm 45, bro. I moved down there when I was 16, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I actually, you know, learned to understand Miami people. You know what I'm saying? And he's from Miami, and I understand where he's coming from, because what he does is he's a jokester, bro. He's what he's doing is he's playing both sides of the story. You're right. You're not wrong about that, but he's not doing it, you know what I'm saying, in a sense to sell out. It's not like he doesn't take it serious. It's that what he's doing is he's playing devil's advocates to make people argue, because he realizes that the argument can go a little deeper and probably present, you know what I'm saying, some kind of view that nobody's seen before. But also at the same time, if you sound stupid, he's gonna get a laugh out of it. You know what I'm saying? So he, you know, he kind of giggles it off and shit like he's being strategic about. So I disagree when it comes about him. As far as showbiz, I don't know him personally like that. I really can't tell you. And I remember thinking of him as a clown back in the day. And I remember a lot of people saying, look, you know, anybody that can act like that, you know what I'm saying, in front of a camera, you know what I'm saying, like you know, for views, is obviously a clown. You know what I'm saying? I heard that back in the day. So that's why I said, I clarified, because I was saying that, you know what I'm saying, he definitely leveled up. But I'm not saying that he's any different, because I really don't know him like that to be saying anything like that. I could just tell you that from Coach Malachi, personally knowing him, speaking to him, you know what I'm saying, rocking with him like that, you know what I mean? Like I know that what he's doing, and what he's doing is not necessarily against boxing. What he's doing is really trying to stir up content and interest for the shit, you know what I'm saying? Whether you agree with him or not. Because a lot of time, if you look, it's already scripted what he's doing before he starts. He does a 3-hour show every day, and it's already scripted. He already knows what he's gonna do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, I peep him, and I can say this. Like, look, I know exactly what he's doing. I know exactly what he's doing, and I appreciate it. And like sometimes it triggers me. Sometimes I'll be laughing. Like I always say, I always default him to whenever it come to Mama Skull, because he got the best shows when it come to Mama Skull, and he be having me laughing.
Right.
I'm like, dude, he's really a genius. My whole thing is like in the vein of what I do, because I see where the sport is going. It's like if you got some kind of level of influence, at some point in time, you got to put your foot down and say, look, man, like we're gonna be gone. Like he was joking around today saying, man, I'm about to go cover soccer. And I'm like, well, how did we get there? Because he pretty much, the same show I did the other day, I did a show the other day called The Fuck is a Duck. When I was saying, what the fuck is a duck? And I went over like the 7 different ways. It was like my third segment of saying, okay, what's really a duck? Like when bosses be changing promotional companies, when they change weight classes, they be disguising it. And he pretty much did the same show today, but he did it in his own way. And I'm like, we had a point in time where, like showbiz, I got in his inbox years ago, and I told him about himself, and I said, listen, bro, you got a lot of eyes on you. And I thought what he was doing with his eyes and all that, like I used to check into him all the time. Then I jumped in his inbox. I told him about himself. I said, man, listen, bro, you don't got to sell out like this. And then he sold out. So then I lost all respect from him. But like my father-in-law like him. I know AC, he still be watching him. You know what I'm saying? And then I see.
Yeah, I just started.
It's probably for the entertainment, though. It's probably for the entertainment, yeah, because he is entertaining. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's entertaining. You know what I mean?
But I see Fanon doing the same things. I'm like, bro, with my whole thing is like, look, man, like with the influence y'all have, at some point in time, like, okay, I understand your stick or what you do, which is genius in all 3. So when I'm looking at Fanon, I'm looking at Coach, I'm looking at showbiz. I see the genius in everything, and I respect it and I admire it. And I was fans. I was like cool with what they were doing, but I'm like, at some point in time, with your level of influence, you gotta put your foot down. Why? Because we're about to be out of business if we keep going like this. And so when I see them playing the game, sometimes it just pisses me off more so, and I gotta walk away because I'm like, man, y'all got too much influence to play the game. Because playing the game is what, like, it's almost like y'all gonna play the game to where it's like no matter what, like if everybody said they butt the Zuffa, then eventually y'all gonna co-sign the Zuffa, and y'all gonna be waving the pom for Zuffa. But Zuffa is not, in my opinion, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Because it's overpaying boxers. Like, I understand, I want the boxers to get paid and all that and get their money and all that, but like at some point in time, we just gotta be serious. Because they all kind of got their little things what they do. More like showbiz and Coach, they more jokey. Fanon's more serious, but he get delusional. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, his affiliation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also know Ness. You know, from not personally, like I never met him, but I've interviewed him and I've actually like talked to him on the phone multiple times. You know what I'm saying? And I message him once in a while. You know what I'm saying? When I got some type of interest or comment or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But with Ness is also a strategic thinker though. Like, and he you know, he knows what he's doing. Like he'll body bag somebody real quick if you just a casual. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, sometimes he also gets, you know, in his feelings because he's, you know, he's got a favorite fighter or something. You know what I'm saying? But
so I used to rock with Ness way back when he used to bring Mike on the joint. You had Ness and Mike. Ness,
I remember that.
Way back where he would always be in the cut if he's in another country, burning stuff down and stuff like that. And I watched Ness go through. I watched Ness go through a corporate chain just by the level of people he had access to. And I was like, all right. I get it now. Now you're becoming political because there's money and there's leverage involved. You're one of the forerunners. Now this is what you'll put yourself in the middle. Like I used to, for me, even back then I used to watch overseas, you know, podcasters and YouTubers like Hatman. And I watched Hatman just...
Yeah, I remember him too. Yeah. He was dope. I haven't watched him in a few years, but yeah.
Yeah, and watch Hatman just go into some weird stuff when AJ came on board. And I was like, bro, you all think AJ, like AJ can't do no wrong in your eyes, huh, Hatman? You feel what I'm saying? So I watched them just go from just covering UK boxing. And there was one point Hatman was the guy who exposed AJ on his TUEs. He exposed it on his Olympic run, and then he exposed it in after the Klitschko fight. And then all of a sudden it was just like boom. No. I'm all thing AJ. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So this is why I as a fan of this stuff, I fell off of it. What
Well, if you naming names, let me name a couple. Punch Drunk Boxing was in love with Teofimo Lopez. What's his name from Tennessee, from Memphis? Wild dude always talking about, come see me.
H Money.
H Money. Man, I got invited so many times to go to Tennessee, bro, to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He invited me too many times, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got epic arguments going on. You know what I'm saying? Like me and him back in the day. But I removed all the drama from my show when I stopped doing work, and I just left the interviews on. You know what I'm saying? Because if I ever come back, I don't want to be reminded or I don't want people to remember me like that. I'll just come back professionally, because that was during COVID. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know what trolling was at that time. I was new to the internet. You know what I mean? So people were getting under my skin, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know that in real life, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm almost 6'5", bro. In real life, people ain't gonna be talking to me like that. So that's why I used to get so hot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, there are people like, H Money that love Devin Haney, that Punch Drunk, that love Teofimo Lopez. You had LDBC, most of them love Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't see no flaws in him. And then you had, like you said, the European dudes that love certain people. I remember this dude from New Zealand that thought that Ergovich was like undefeated, like undefeatable. And so it just depends on which channel you're watching. You know what I'm saying? And you get to know who they kind of like love more than the others. And as far as like being objective, it's a sport of boxing, bro. And that's why I just stuck to the interviews, because when you're interviewing people, you're asking them for their opinion, and you're not like inserting your influence to try to, steer people left or right. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I'm just a fan of boxing, bro. I love this shit. It's one of the few reminders I have of my grandmother. May she rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Old little Puerto Rican woman that really loved, you know what I'm saying, like Mike Tyson and what's my man's name? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, she loved a lot of the old boxers. Let me just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And so that's how I got into boxing. Like when it was fight night, we used to have y'all from New York, so y'all should remember this. We used to have the little box where they used to send a bullet and knock it off, right? Yeah. Okay, and then we already had the dude there to fix it. So everybody was standing on the walls with their beers, and they would throw the bullet, it would knock off the fight, and then the dude would fix it real quick, and then the fight was back on. Everybody start cheering. You know what I mean? That's my recollection of fight night back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. But I was gonna say, to a point that you was making earlier, for me, and a point that Body was making earlier, to whereas as I get it, as you guys are content creators, you know what I'm saying? And within the space of content creating, you're coming in with your own integrities. And within those integrities, you stay 10 toes down. You feel what I'm saying?
Sure.
Other content creators are just creative people who, within the space of being creative, I can create junk and have you tune into it and just enjoy it. In fact, my like those people would be, well, I want my channel to have fun. I want my channel to be universal. I want my channel to be for everyone. There are people who just want to deal with a niche market. That's what Bodywork's channel is when he calls it the 300. This is a niche market. This is a niche market.
Absolutely.
You can leave leave your feelings in the comments section, but when you come up here, let's just try to have a conversation about boxing. Let's try to have a real one. You feel what I'm saying? If you want to be a eggplant eater and wear the knee pads, you're probably not going to last too long on the panel, because it's not going to be nothing rude, not going to kick you up. It's just, all right, bro, you've had your say. It was great talking to you, on to the next one. And you feel what I'm saying? But you'll
1000% agree with you, brother.
Give your voice. Go ahead.
And made the key. I want to say this. I see all them channels you name. I see the brilliance in them. I was over there, H Money, and like I used to couldn't stand them, But I saw what he was doing, and then I went over there, and I used to get up on the panel and rock out with him, and then it was just from week to week or fight to fight. The minute somebody lose, it would be jumping ship. I'm like, nah, man, because then we don't have no consistency. So my whole thing is like consistency. So I'll rock with you, and I see the genius. I see the genius in Coach Malachi. I see the genius in Fanon. I see the genius in Ness. Ness is probably the hardest working guy in boxing. I see H Money and how certain people gravitate, and he'll always have an audience to where people are around. I see the genius in everybody. The only thing is, this is my stick, and this is what I try to make my thing different. Just come up here. I'm in Baltimore. I'm from PG County, Maryland. I was born in DC, raised in Landover, Maryland, like walking distance from where the stadium is, right? So I'm really from Maryland.
Troy Grizzly, right? You remember Troy Grizzly? He from around there. Troy Graham. You remember him? He used to be all over the place, man, before he had his heart issue, you know what I'm saying? Like, he used to be my you know what I'm saying, my partner in crime, you know what I'm saying, on the channel. But he's the one that basically knew all the people, like the Marvin McDowells and, you know what I'm saying, the people that we brought for the interviews. He brought most of them to the channel, you know what I'm saying, because he was in those gyms.
Word. But my thing is this. Just because I'm up here from Boston, I see a lot of cats from Philly doing this. I see people from New Jersey doing this. I see people from certain parts of Texas doing this. It's like, just because you down there, you can't rock out with everything that's going, and you're going to ignore. Like it's a lot of people that get on Tank, right? Or they say little shit about Tank, and he has his things, you know what I'm saying, that you could be critical of and all that. But I hate when everybody vocal about everything he's doing, but then nobody wants to say nothing about what Devin's doing. Nobody wants to say nothing about what Shakur's doing. Nobody wants to say all the idiosyncrasies that come along with Keyshawn. But then y'all want to just jump on. Like, that's where my channel is. It was like, okay, I respect the genius in Keyshawn. I like the guy. I think he's a crash out. I think that he needs order. He needs, he needs some things. He's missing a couple things, and he has greatness in him, but I don't ride along with the narrative. And I see where all these different channels, they play the game. And I know it's for the algorithm and it's business, and I understand that part. It's just that I'm not going to do my shit like that. It's like my shit going to be like, okay, well, who's up and coming? Who's moving the way that's going to help boxing continue to thrive? Because you seeing the trends, man. Boxing is, I ain't going to say it's dying, but it's going more towards WWE, WWF, and that's not where we really wanted. We wanted to get more closer to how football is regulated, how basketball is regulated, how like where they got rules and we got some understanding in its longevity. Unless some wild, crazy shit happen, it's gonna be destroyed. Yeah. So I see the genius in all of these guys. I just don't like when I see the game, that they play, and I'm gonna land right here. I think sometimes what happens to me is that I have too much hope, or I have high expectations of these guys when you have a certain amount of followers. I think that the bigger you get, the larger you grow, you have more of a responsibility. And when I see people playing games the way they play, I'm like, oh man, you just like everybody else. And that's what kind of like turns me off. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm learning how to deal with that. But I'm like, man, right now, we're not in a space where boxing can afford to like, for everybody, like for you to play the game. Like we need more people to be like, nah, man, that's not right. Like whether it's your favorite fighter or not. Cause like, again, I don't say this to virtue signal to anybody to say, oh man, yeah, he's down the shit on Tank. But I say, hey man, he lost to Lamont. I came out the next day and said he lost to Lamont. By the rules and what happened, he lost. That's my guy, 10 toes down. But I'm not like one of them guys that's going to excuse everything that Keyshawn doing. I'm not going to excuse everything that Core doing. I'm not going to excuse everything that Devin doing. Because I'm willing to say, hey, man, my guy was fucked up. His head wasn't right. His coaches didn't know what round it was. He had too many coaches. All he needed is Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin. Why did he have Coach Berry? And I love Coach Berry. But that's just like the integral part of what I do. So, and long story short, it's like
I just have high expectations of some of these guys, especially when they have the following that they have and they don't use it to get the message across to save boxing, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. Yeah,
it makes perfect sense. Is what I'm gonna say. Go ahead, brother. I was gonna say the same thing. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but and in that aspect, you know, this is where I was gonna make the comment earlier, where at times how I see myself balancing you out, because I understand the rant and I understand it. I understand the sentiment when you're a content creator. I'm a chef, and when I see BS restaurants get Michelin stars, and I know what's behind it, I'm just like, wow. And I want a Michelin. You know what I'm saying? I'm currently working on a project that Michelin is on my mind. And for those that don't know, that's one of the highest cooking awards. That's like, you know.
Oh, I love cooking shit, bro. I watch all the fucking cooking shows, bro.
So
I used to be a restaurant manager, bro. I used to be a general manager, bro.
And you already know when we talk about Michelin, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
I cook at that level.
Course.
You feel what I'm saying? I cook at that level. I was brought up in kitchens at that level. You know what I'm saying? So when I see BS restaurants get it, you know, it's not like I'm hating. I just don't understand the integrity of it, and it diminishes the award. Just like for fighters and what they're doing with the ring belt, it's diminishing the legacy of lineal champion in the ring belt when you just nullify it down as the 1 and 2 guy, and sometimes the 1 and 2 guy aren't the real 1 and 2 guys. You just arbitrarily picking it out of a time and place to say, oh, we need to start the lineage up again. So then wait till somebody really does something good in that division, and then make that happen. And in the space of content creators, you'll have that situation, and people are telling you, well, yo, that's what do you mean? Look at everything that Boots did, and that's the situation I'm talking about. And Stanionis was always the number 2 guy, and Stanionis, and it's just like no. Stanionis took more step aside money than a little bit. He was actually getting rich off of step aside money. You know what I'm saying? Boots didn't clear out.
Yeah, and he had a long layoff. He had a long layoff too, by the way.
And Boots didn't clear out the division. Errol Spence cleared out the division. The fight between him and Crawford was a legitimate ring belt. Crawford fucked that up because you became the lineal champion and then you dropped it in a minute. So in the space of people trying to justify that, there's this level of integrity. And what I say to Body at times, or just really started saying, because it's just an observation that I had, is everything has a place. Mm-hmm. Whether we agree to it or not, at the end of the day, what it does is bring people to boxing, have them tuned into boxing. Their opinions may be all fucked up, but they still love the sport. And if we could just look at it at that, yeah, I'm criticizing you for that bullshit because I know you playing the game. You are an algorithm right now. You feel what I'm saying? With the number of following that you have and how you move the needle and how many people tune into your lives and stuff like that, you are a human algorithm. And within that human algorithm, at least once, show us a warning sign. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
man.
Any other routine works.
If I may add to that, I get 1,000% what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm rocking with y'all this long just because I really don't rock with channels like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I have multiple YouTube channels, and Major Key is only for boxing. You know what I'm saying? And so when I switch over to this channel, I'm looking for boxing. I'm looking for live boxing talk. And you know what I'm saying? If I get engaged, if I'm not working, because sometimes I work from home, you know what I'm saying? And you know, if I'm not active dealing with a customer, then I'm just like, scrolling through and watching shit. Now, so what you're going to see is, right, and fun fact real quick, you were talking about chefing it up. I got an interview with Chop Corley where he did the whole interview while he was cooking in the you know what I'm saying, in the kitchen, by the way, because he started a knife, he started like a knife collection, by the way. So you may want to check that out, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was pretty fun with him, you know what I mean? But anyway, when it comes down to it, I see what you're saying, because when algorithm, you know.
Oh, your mic is going.
You went out, Major. We can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
You can't hear me?
Now.
Yeah, now you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to end that call. Yeah, it was an incoming call. My bad. What's called it? So I hear what y'all saying because it takes away, and that's the reason why I stopped doing content. Is really because nobody cared about the classics. Nobody cared about you talking about techniques. Everybody just wanted to argue. You know what I'm saying? And everybody wanted to talk about the, you know what I'm saying, the opinions and, you know what I'm saying, like non-factual based conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get 1,000%. As a matter of fact, even though I don't do content, you'll see a post from earlier today, which was my nephew fighting out there. You know, he's an amateur. He was fighting out there in Colombia today, and he won his fight. You know what I'm saying? He just won a few weeks ago. That's the prior to today. The last post I did was with him winning a title out in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, I care about it, but I'm not trying to compete because that's like day in and day out work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to lose all that energy when I got other things going on in life where I'm trying to compete with somebody that's gonna literally like you know, work on how to you know, make the algorithm, bring in people and what taglines, you know what I'm saying, like what description, what hashtags, all of the you know, what do they call that, is search engine optimization, all of that stuff. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying, go that deep like that. I did it for fun during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? I'll still do it. I'll pop up on channels and I'll even, I may go live, you know, one of these days. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of me keeping the channel open. I may go live, but you know what I'm saying? I like what's really the purpose? I do this shit for fun because I love boxing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to like, you know, like create a whole complex situation where I have to do this daily and keep up the same momentum, you know, with relationships with people that I really don't like. You know what I'm saying? Just to get views and just to make money. Like, bro, I got other options, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you guys when you're saying that. I 1,000% feel you guys when you're saying that, bro. I'm not mad at nothing y'all saying.
Major, put your link in the chat, man. We'll subscribe, and whoever rocking with us, they'll subscribe too. Because
I can't put it. You need a. I think if I'm not mistaken, from StreamYard, from when I used to rock with it, you need a what do you call it? A wrench for that. So if you guys want to drop it, it's Major Key Boxing. That's it, pretty much. But just Major Key Boxing.
Major Key Boxing. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's really all I'm saying, man. You hit the major point to where it's like I'm subscribed to a lot of these guys. I'm not subscribed to Showbiz. I got off that track, but I am subscribed to Coach Malachi, and some of the other guys. H Money, it's been a minute, but I got love for H. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of these guys, I got love for them. I'm only subscribed to a certain amount of them, but it's what you just said is what really matters to me. It's like I'm not gonna get out here. I could be creative with the thumbnails. I could come up with content for days. I could be salacious. I could have blew up just like any one of these. I could become a character and do all of that. But I'm like, man, at the end of the day, as boxing fans, we all want to see good fights. We want to see the best fight the best. A lot of people say they want to fight the best, but they really don't. Like what you said, they want to get into the drama, the salaciousness, all the dumb shit that don't lead us to get into fights. And I'm like, when you have a level of influence and you don't use it right, like you're abusing it. Because when you misuse something, you're actually abusing it. And that's the vein of where I'm at. Like to where it's like, man, look, I'll step away from it. Like when boxing get too crazy and it's drama filled and it's narrative driven, I'll just step away for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. I've said here recently where I'm not going to step away for weeks. It might be a couple of days, but I ain't gonna step away from it for weeks. I used to step away for weeks, and I'm like, man, boxing is on some bullshit right now, and so that's where I'm at, man. I don't knock these guys. I understand the game. I understand why people say and do what they do. It's like they have an agenda and they got goals and they want to keep, it's a business to them. It's like it's a way to make a couple extra dollars and all that, but like. We not getting paid. Like we're both me and AC, we both business owners. So we look at everything different. We don't look at it from the stance of like most fans that are employees. You know,
Right,
you
right.
probably can relate because you sound like a business owner. You know what I'm saying, or somebody
And
that has
Yeah.
control
We
over.
down we down that avenue. We down that avenue. Like I do work full time job, but trust me when I tell you, I got different ventures on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you know what I'm saying. I got a stretch portfolio. It's not just all in one basket. You know
residuals
what I
is
mean?
always a good thing, man. Residuals is
Yep.
always a good word to have in your vocabulary. Ain't nobody, long as you doing it like that, it don't matter. You still a business owner in my eye. You feel what
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So that's kind of like how we look at it. So it's just like, man, I it's really just for the love of boxing now
Yeah,
at this
and
point. It's like it's just
me,
to preserve it. It's just to say, hey, listen, man, like, yeah, my guy might do some fucked up shit, but what about your guy? Like, if you don't have nothing bad to say about your guy, and your guy can do no wrong, I don't want to hear from you because we're all humans, even in life. We're all humans. So I make mistakes. I'm a perfectionist. I try not to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. And if you're not like that when it comes down to talking this boxing shit, I can't really rock with you because I know that, okay, you got an agenda. And that's
yeah,
really what it
say
is,
it like
man.
this. Let me say it like this real quick. We cooked on Zufa, the sanctioning bodies, the whole IBF situation, Hitchin situation, Berlanga. We were talking at when this announcement came. We were looking at the type of fighters that might fit what Zufa doing, knowing that we knew it was a UBO, and this is how they were filing for Congress and everything. And within all of that conversation and all of those cooks, I found a space to whereas I said, okay, between everything that I don't like about Zufa, what can I point out? And I say, you have a purpose. There is a space for you. As far as a business perspective, and I had to take the boxing fan out of it and just look at it as a business model. And within that space of a business model, I said, okay, you have a purpose. You're going to get rid of, you know, the people that are desperate for stardom, but will probably never get there. They've already reached their glass ceiling. So now they're just glorified. They don't know it, but they're just glorified gatekeepers. So they've accepted, okay, I'm going to go over to Zufa and at least get a bag. You know what I'm saying? Get a couple of fights, build my name up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that person in the sanctioning bodies, but I know I could be somebody at Zufa. You're going to get rid of the stars, the people who want the glorified boxing matches. You know, let me dap you up after every round. You catch me with a good shot, I'm like, yeah, that's a good one, and I start talking to you. You feel what I'm saying? And then we dap it up and we really, really hug it out and all of this weird shit at the end of the fight. So they're going to go over there. What'll be left with boxing is the Abdullah Masons, the Bam Rodriguez. You feel what I'm saying? The David Benavidez's. You know what I'm saying? All of the stuff that we really, really want as boxing fans. Most of the casuals, they're going to go over there with them too. And then what we'll have is a real hemisphere. And this is where I made a statement that Body was like, yeah, I had to reconsider because you said something that made me reconsider something and kind of balanced me out. And that's where I was like, the fans that move boxing are the actual hardcore fans. The hardcore fans that make channels. The hardcore fans that follow fighters and go to press conferences. Whether or not they want to deliver on that content and live up to that responsibility, you are a hardcore boxing fan. You may not like Showbiz, but Showbiz is a hardcore boxing fan. Remember, that man was talking about this boxing game when it was just a theory. They were testing it out. He's seen it in stages that, you know, this Undisputed game, he's seen it in stages to where it was something different. Showbiz made his rise in the beginning, and this tells you how long of a fan I was of Showbiz. He made his rise in the beginning off the coffee mugs. Remember, he would always have a different coffee mug for every
and up off it, and then also not only that, BUSR. I'm still working off of free money that I got off of BUSR.
You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I say it like this, and this is where in this era, as an older guy, 56 years old. Seen boxing, all types of champions. I've watched so many different eras. I'm also a boxing historian. You feel what I'm saying? To a certain degree, as long as I can remember the details and remember the fighter's name. You feel me? So
Of
in
course,
that
yeah.
aspect, I love the sport. I love what boxing brings. I respect what certain channels do, even though I may completely disagree with you. But because I have the ability as a business owner and a business consultant, I see your goal and I understand what you're doing and I see you have a purpose.
Right.
Because at the end of the
Of
day,
course.
everybody's still delivering on boxing. We may not like Zuffa, but Zuffa is offering a boxing career and big money to other people, and I'm not going to knock that. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Well, I
agree with
wasn't
UBO, but it is what it is.
like Jake Paul, but I appreciated what he did for women. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like him as a person or all the stunts and shit like that he pulled, and especially the shit that he talked about Puerto Ricans and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like when it came to women's boxing, I thought there was a benefit there.
Yeah.
But that was then, and now is now. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of out. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't say outsmarted. I'm just saying like his time was spent with me. You know what I mean? Like I supported what he was doing only for the women, but I wasn't watching for his fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry for cursing. I'm not sure how this channel works. But you know what I'm saying? Like as far as like him, I wasn't watching for his content. I already knew everything was an exhibition. You know what I'm saying? It's all show. But it was as far as like the pre limbs, and then when he started doing the main events, you know what I mean? Like with the Serrano versus Taylor, and other females and all of that on the undercard, it made it a little more, like, wow, okay, well, I can support this. But overall, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just for his pocket too. It really, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? The reason that I sided with him to begin with was just because he was spending some of his bonuses and cutting them off to the females. So I thought that was a great way to do it. But at the end of the day, he was benefiting off the tax cuts and all that from Puerto Rico, and he was doing other things on the side. You know what I'm saying? So he was benefiting, he was getting that money, he was recouping that money at the end of the day. Right?
You take the good and the bad. Boxing,
Right.
even sanctioning bodies pull corrupt things. They do things that's
Yeah.
like, what the, like, somebody explain to me logically what the WBO, what Keyshawn Davis did for the WBO to make him the number one guy and the mandatory to Devin Haney. What did he actually do? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when you look at that dynamic, that's like, come on. And Keyshawn saying, "Oh, I didn't know what happened. I just woke up and it happened that way." You said you was going to 47. Between your promoter and your manager, they contacted the WBO and let them know you want to change the weight. They paid the sanctioning fee or the lobbying fee to get you where they wanted to get you. And that lobbying fee, now you got to come up with this win, because that lobbying fee might have cost them a pretty penny to get you to the number one spot. You, Keyshawn Davis,
Yeah.
Mr. A sneeze away from crashing out.
Yeah,
They made you the number one guy. Come on, bro. Save me that.
And I want to say this, man. The whole sentiment about Jake Paul, because I was heavily against him, but I was an advocate for women's boxing. I appreciate what he did, but I saw how he played Puerto Ricans. I got a guy that's close to the channel, and he give him a lot of benefit of the doubt based on the fact that they got a hub out of Puerto Rico. And y'all don't understand what he's actually doing, but I appreciate it. But like, yeah, the gimmick and shit. So all those sentiments are made the key. I agree with. But let me say, because I don't know how much time Crush got, man, but this is my guy, man. Like, ever since I heard Crush got a voice out of this world, you know what I'm saying? And
I don't know where I know from Crush, but I know Crush from somewhere.
I got to give him a proper introduction. I don't know why Crush don't get the attention and the publicity that he deserves, but Crush is like, and I resonate with real motherfucking people. So just like Major Key. The reason why you jumped up here and I would let you have all the time you need is because you sound like a realist. Like Crush is one of them niggas, man. I heard before I even went onto his channel, or because we was on, me and AC was on another channel and we got affiliated with Crush, but Crush didn't let the bullshit influence him. He just like me. He always say he read energy, and I'm like, man, I hope they don't get to Crush and tell him some bullshit about me. You know what I'm saying? That where, you know, something that he don't see, but they influence him, and he never let that happen. But like he gets on, he got a segment that he do early in the morning. Since I'm an early riser, even though I'm a night owl, I get up real early for, you know, what I do for business. So when I'm running my route, I'll check in with him. But like Crush is one of the realest niggas on the internet, man. Like he don't give a fuck. And I knew it when we was on another channel and a bra got out of pocket. And most of the time when women be talking about boxing, a lot of niggas spare him, not Crush. Crush gave her the business. And I was like, man, he just like me. It's like, we don't, well, like, listen, man, if you want some bullshit, we gonna call that shit out, or we gonna address it, we gonna nip that shit in the bud, and yeah, we can agree to disagree and all of that. But like, I appreciate Crush, man, because he one of the realest niggas I ever met, man, on this YouTube shit. He just, so I say, man, listen, if you haven't subscribed to Crush, subscribe to Major Key. These are real niggas. But I know for Crush,
I appreciate
he's
that.
a real nigga, man. Like, Crush is a real nigga. Like I always say, man, I want Crush to get up here more. I know he be divided. I know a lot of people be tugging and pulling from him. You know what I'm saying? But like, I appreciate what he brings to the table. So with no further ado, man, what's going on, Crush?
Hey, I appreciate you just as well, man. Sitting for everybody. Major Key, we familiar with each other. Key, a bad
That's
dude.
what I thought. I thought I knew you. I thought I knew you. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we good, Kid. Major Kid, bad motherfucker, man. One of the realest, just like everybody on this panel, man. Well, hey, AC, I'm gonna answer your question real quick. How fucking the bowl of coleslaw Davis got there. WBO, what Bob orders. We know that's the only fucking reason why this fucking bowl of tall salad
And
got there, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the corruption right there. So at the end of the day, you just accept everybody has a little bit of corruption in them when it comes down to this boxing game. It's too much fucking money involved for there to be absolutely no corruption. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man. This whole brotherhood shit and what they got going on, and this thing with Zupa, this shit is a hot mess, man. It's a hot mess. It's part of the reason we something that can take care of some business. Sometimes I be like, man, I don't even feel like talking this shit today. Not this morning. I'll wait until the afternoon. Because it's a bunch of bullshit. It's not like gossip more so than boxing talk like it's supposed to be. You know, so it ain't looking good for these dudes, man. It ain't looking good for them. And all these fans should be like on that scene in Coolie High, throwing shit in their own face. Because as much as they've been hated on other fighters and saying this and that, what they're not doing, guess what? These motherfuckers can't do a damn thing. you got the fake ass, Black Jesus they call him. This motherfucker, we don't know if he's signed or not. I'll never fight at his damn catch weight. Remind me of that old school break beat, catch a groove and whatnot. He ain't caught the groove yet. It's just horrible. And his resume is fucked up. They try to make it seem like it's a legendary resume. It's fucking not. 30-something fucking fights. You do the math on how many motherfucking A to B average level fighters he had. We ain't even got to see C's because most of them are C level. That mean level 4 guys is fucking size. When it happened, what happened? Oh, some other shit happened. Get the fuck up on out of here. They just doing too fucking much. And it's just because of what I call hate. And hate is what is self-admiration. A person admires something about you that you possess that they wish they possessed. But instead of trying to work on it and just give you your props, that's where the hate comes from, man. Because they don't have it, but they admire you having it. They admire it, but they admire you having it. And that's what self-hate is. That's what hate is. So And all these dudes been hating on certain fighters and ain't doing shit. And they need certain fighters. Certain fighters don't need them, and this is one of the arguments or realities that these cucumbers and pickle pullers don't get this thing that set in. But that's I fuck up their parade every fucking day. That's part of the reason why my shit ain't the way it's supposed to be. Cause I'm fucking reality. It's just like we said, you know, we won't say no names. We ain't trying to, you know, put nobody on blast. But you know, one of them was trying to talk that shit that day, and I simply not. But listen, I respect them. They can cook. Don't come fucking with me. Leave me the fuck alone. And they all know what respect me. They don't fuck with me, I ain't gonna fuck with them. And they know not to fucking try me. Because they know what's gonna happen, man. They know what's going. I'm not one of them. They can Clarissa Shields everybody else with that bullshit. You fuck with me, you get me. That's it. And they be talking a bunch of bullshit a lot of times.
And Crush, I learned, you know, I've been learning, man. I've been learning a lot from you, man, because you fuck with some people that I don't fuck with, man.
I know.
And I'm like, and I'm like, for me, it's just, bro, if you from a certain demographic, right, and your guy can just do no wrong, and you don't see nothing wrong with they doing, but there's plenty of instances where your guy, but you're so vocal about another guy, I don't rock with that shit, bro. And that's why I think, man, maybe I could probably get a little bit further along than I am, but it's just not in my nature, bro. So I always say this, man, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you the long way. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the foxhole, you know what I'm saying? Like I got, because I draw from Army principles. When I was in the Army, man, I might be in there with a Mexican. You know, I might be in there with a white boy. I might be in there with another black dude from somewhere else, from down south or whatever. But it's like, man, I fuck with you. We had our little jokes that we made and all this, but like we knew at the end of the day, it's like, man, I might have to be in a foxhole with this nigga. So it's like, I don't see color. I don't see all this other stuff. Like, I'm outside of that. I look at the bigger picture. But like in this boxing shit, it's like you can't be critical of one guy, but then your guy can't do no wrong. And that's why I don't fuck with a lot of people, because politics is fucking it up and our sport is dying. And somebody gotta be courageous enough to be able to say what needs to be said to preserve the shit. To say, hey, listen, man, because I always been one of them persons that when I was in the room and some shit be going on, I'd be like, man, I don't really rock with this. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, why am I the only one that's saying it? You know what I'm saying? Why am I the only one that's speaking up? And then like you get shunned, you take the grunt. And I've just been built like that from the beginning of time, like ever since I can remember, the way it's like, I'm gonna talk about the shit. Like, I ain't necessarily gonna start no shit to like cause no commotion, but like when some shit ain't right, I'm gonna say something. And everybody
it'll come to you.
Yeah, and for me, I've always looked at it like this. I don't mind going on different channels. You know what I'm saying? I just don't rock with the narratives. I don't rock with the gaslight. I don't rock with a lot of things like that. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm standing on my principle to say, listen, at the end of the day, I can be a fan of a person and still be extra critical about it. That don't mean when the fight comes, I'm going to root for them. I'm not going to root for them. Only one fight in the whole history of me being a Devin Haney fan, I rooted against Devin Haney. And that was in the Brian Norman fight, because your last two outings, you didn't show me anything, and I didn't know if your mind was in the right place, if your heart was in the right place. So just as a fan of the sport, I had to go with the guy, even though he wasn't technically gifted as you or experienced as you. I relied on his speed, his power, and his confidence. And sometimes shit like that wins fights, especially when you're in exchanges and, you know, you find yourself in a little dog fight. And that's why I was like, yeah, I think Brian Norman might even stop him. If he connect on him the way Ryan Garcia connected on him, Devin is not getting the fuck up. And at the end of the day, I still stand on that principle, just like right now. Devin Haney ducked Rolly Romero. He's not calling out Ryan Garcia. But you're in this weird ass no man's land negotiation with Shakur Stevenson, and you two know you're not gonna fight each other. Shakur, you just ducked O'Shaquie Foster. And you're not gonna fight Gary Antoine Russell at 140. So at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, if I can't talk honestly about these guys in this situation where, you know, these people are ducking and then being elevated for ducking, you ducked him, and now y'all elevated to the super fight. I thought you actually had to fight like that, fight these two guys, fight somebody like that, make that whatever, and then you get to that point of the super fight.
Right.
Yeah, man. I gotta hop off, but let me just say one more thing, if you guys don't mind. Yo, when it comes down to it, when I was saying that, you know, it's gonna happen though. When you were talking, sir, what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter like how objective and balanced you are, bro. Once people start saying, "Oh, he's not agreeing with the narrative," like what you were saying, then all of a sudden everybody starts attacking. It starts with the chats, then people start getting froggy. Then all of a sudden it's like they start attacking and you trying to act like you stupid because you actually see something and are pointing out something objectively. Like, bro, when I'm talking about boxing, bro, I'm talking about strategy. I'm talking about people's strengths, their weaknesses. I'm talking about, you know, how these styles compare to each other. I'm looking at things like that. I'm looking at comparisons and I'm not trying to always do the triangle theory or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't always add up. But what I'm saying is that sometimes you can based on styles, you know what I'm saying? And
we do on this channel. We do the same thing on this channel when we do fight breakdowns.
Hey, right. No.
The possibility.
And that's why, listen, bro, that's why I'm even here right now, you know what I'm saying? Talking this long because like I said, I don't even like to rock with no channels no more, bro, because, you know, like when I come on, I'm going to give my opinion regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think I sound pretty fair most of the time. But if I say something that people disagree with because they, you know, fanboying for somebody, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you fanboying. Why am I fanboying? Because I'm saying that this person possibly has a chance. I'm just saying that is, you know what I'm saying? The odds are a little closer than you may expect. But you're saying all out, this person is just going to dominate. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, hey, you gotta be devil's advocate sometimes and see things for what they actually are, and this person brings something to the table that can potentially, you know, be the upset, you know. So that's why I'm calling it for what it is. Like David Benavidez, man, you know, when I interviewed him, bro, I interviewed that dude 3 times, bro, and this was like way back in the day, bro. I straight up asked him about how he fucked up with the drugs and the overweight shit, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that, and he, you know, he opened up and spoke on it. So I was like, so when I spoke to him in the future, I also told him, bro, you got to take that name Monster, bro. If Tyson is a legend, bro. You can't keep on talking about you that bandita rota and you know, English speaking people don't know what the hell you mean by that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Monster's a better nickname, bro. And then he started calling himself that like a couple years later. But also, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then I had told him though, I interviewed what's his name, Samson, on top of that, right? Because I always agree with David, like, yo, you need a couple fights, but when you get there, I think you could beat you know, Canelo. And then at that time, you know, this is years ago, bro. And then I interviewed Samson and I put him on the spot. I was like, yo, so what's going on with this fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what if, you know, we can make that fight this and this and that, but not on PBC. And I put him in a corner because he kept trying to like dodge the question. And I said, nah, I want what about if it's not on PBC? Would you negotiate that? He said, no, we can't do that because we've already built a relationship with PBC. So it has to be on PBC. So I'm like, okay. So I know Canelo's ducking Benavidez, but at the same time, you're telling me right now that, you know what I'm saying, you're not willing to work with anything outside PBC. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, being objective like I am, I just got to call it for what it is and say David ain't the problem in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Canelo is partially the problem, and so is Samson. They're both the problem. You know what I mean? That's why that never happened. You know what I mean? But David himself, he earned that fight. He should have had it a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But you know, with Bud blood when he beat Spence. I made people come to the channel and eat that crow like with my boy 78 Sports. You know who he is? 78. No, is it 78? What's my man? Yeah, the one that used to have the boxing debates back in the day. I don't know if he still does them.
Yeah, we know 78.
So he know damn well he had to come and eat that crow, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? Like he was telling, ain't no damn way in hell but beating Crawford. I'm like, bro, just observation tells me. Because again, I speak on what I'm observing as far as talent is concerned, what their skills are versus their opportunities. And I'm telling you that Crawford is talented on a different level than Spence. Spence is fundamentally sound. He's great. At his weight class, he's great at what he does, but Crawford is different. That's what I kept saying over and over and over. And everybody's arguing me, talking about I'm a fanboy and this and this and that. Then guess what? When that fight was over, I went straight live and made everybody come eat that crow, bro. I was calling numbers. Everybody, bro, going on people's pages. Yo, where you at? Come to the channel. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, man, y'all some real ones, man. You know what I'm saying? I definitely subscribe, man. You know what I mean? And I'll be popping up. You know what I mean? You do like a certain time frame or like certain days, or what you do?
Yeah, it's either 7:15 or 8:15, and we let the beat breathe, a little bit. Like so, it's like almost like every other day. You know what I'm saying? Right. If it's every other day, it might be every 3 days because we believe in quality, not quantity. So I'm not just gonna come out every day just to be out here, you know what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
But we subscribe to you, Major Key. Appreciate your
salute to y'all brothers, man.
Yeah,
have a great night, man.
You too.
All right, peace.
Peace.
What was you saying, Crush?
Yeah, man. The cook is real, man, and this whole situation. Let me pick up where I left off at. It's just bad. It's just a bad situation. But one good thing, I want to get your opinion on something. We got Bam fighting Antonio Vargas.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. What's y'all take on that? Give me your breakdown. What y'all got?
Bam.
Yeah, I got Bam too.
Bam.
Yeah, I like
he's a roadblock that's about to get ran over. I don't discount any fighter because we've seen some crazy things in boxing, but like Bam is one of my guys. It's just I call him the mechanic in my boxes to watch, and I don't do specific videos about him because I'm one of them channels where I keep the same energy. So if you part of Snack and all of that, I'm not gonna really do nothing like that about you because you part of Snack. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. The same way I was coming at Bud, same way I was coming at Devin for being affiliated with Snack. I don't do solo content about somebody, but I think like Bam, and I've adopted some of the same principles that you said, Crush, as far as pound for pound. I said, man, if there is a pound for pound, according to your definition, it would either be right now, at this point in time in June 12th, 2026, it'll either be David Benavidez, Bam, and I will put maybe Monster at the third.
Yeah.
If it just came down to one, it's like for me, let's either Benavidez or Bam. If it had to be one, not just this list, this popular, vote where it's like, oh, I like this guy, because a couple weeks ago they had Navarrete on there, and then when Oshaki did what he did, it was like, oh well, do he deserve? And I'm like, what is y'all standard? And so Bam, he's like breathing down Benavidez's neck. But because he's on Snack, I don't do videos about him because I don't want to be a hypocrite like everybody else. So I'm high on Bam, and I think he's gonna step on Buddy, man, because he got bigger fish to fry, and I think he got the skill set. I think he took that shit that Lomachenko got and mastered it.
Yeah,
he's on skates when it comes to boxing. So I'm high on Bam, man.
See, the thing about go ahead.
Real quick, AC, and I forgot he's so damn good naturally, bro. That I forgot he was on fucking Snap. And I feel where you coming from, cause you know I don't like that shit either. But I look at Bam based off his skill set, and that's why I give him the respect that I do give him. But also I have to give him criticism along with everyone else that uses Snap. But he's still a bad motherfucker, man. He's a bad dude, man, and yeah,
that was one of the things I was gonna say about Bam. It's like that Matrix style. He do it to whereas this is the final form of Neo. You're the final boss, Neo. You know what I'm saying? And he just be skating with it. Where I give Bam the extra point with it is Bam can deliver that power within those transitions that actually break you down, clip you, or get you stopped. But it sets up that knockout sequence. So that's where I give Bam his credit. Yeah, I'm not as critical as you guys are over the snack thing. I look at it as, okay, some people deal with it's a supplement thing. Where things get sketchy is when you're in the supplement market and you need to do blood tests. That's the first thing Conti always brings up. And that's where it's just like, bro, that's if it's just all about supplements and recovery supplements and stuff like that, I don't got no problem with you. But my problem lies, the part that has me like raising an eyebrow and giving some legitimacy to the arguments is, if it's a supplement type thing, why are you taking my blood? Why are you watching levels in my blood, glucose levels and other things like that? That's irrelevant to the supplement that you're supposed to be putting in the thing. That supplement should be universal. I could take it, the same one you give Terrence Crawford or Bam Rodriguez.
Exactly.
If you're creating supplements off of blood, that means you're making a specific mixture for that particular fighter. Does that push the line of cheating? Yes, the fuck it does. You feel what I'm saying? But you get away with it because then you have the regular over-counter stuff, and we just have to understand, and I'm putting up hand quotes, that at the professional level, these supplements must be geared to the individual athlete. And that's a bunch of bullshit. And that's where I agree with the argument. But overall, I try to find a fair and balanced way of just trying to look at it. Do the fighters need to be on a program? No. Is it a more scientific way of really understanding what the body is doing that your camp may not be able to do, or you may not have the money to have a phlebotomist and an on-site phlebotomist and have that laboratory, whatever. And I don't know the cost of blood work and shit like that, and then break it down with enzymes and centrifuges and all of that other stuff. I don't know the cost of that. So if there's a company that's doing it as a fee that you can use to say, all right, am I optimizing? At the end of the day, there might be a space for that, but you got to clean it up. If there's a reintroduction to it and you call it what it is, then that might be something the boxing fans can agree with, because then they're like, all right, I get it. It's about boxing is a different sport. You get punched in the head. So you want to look at certain levels of what the body's doing to make sure you're always in optimal physical peak condition, so your recovery doesn't allow you to be concussed, and that concuss turn into something else. And that's the only reason. I'm not giving an excuse for Snack. I'm just in an in-between weird space with Snack. You know what I'm saying? I get the criticism, but from the business side of it, or the supplement side, or the scientific side, I can kind of see what they're doing. But just clean that shit up, because perception is reality. And right now, the guy who came up with it, whether it's ingenious or not, it came on the back of a known cheater. But then again, look at all the internet software and VPNs and shit like that. Who do you think creates that type of software? Professional hackers. people who were caught, now they can get paid off of it. So
Right.
you feel what I'm saying? That's kind of the way I look at it. But I get
I
you guys' standpoint, and I get Body's ethic standpoint.
Yeah, I agree with you. Great point. Great breakdown. Great breakdown, man. Now, let me see. Well, we have, of course, we got Xander and Boost coming up in a matter of a couple of weeks, and then we hitting right into July, and I can't wait for the 4th of July to see the state in the state of Ohio go crazy with Abdullah Mason and his brothers, and Shoo and that card that they got going over there. That's a fire card, man, and you're gonna see a bunch of up and coming young men in the talent of boxing right now who's been moving the right way, the correct way, taking challenges strategically, and now Abdullah's where he is. He's quietly probably one of the most feared guys around in his region, his weight region, while a lot of people's not talking about him, wanting to get in the ring with him, and so forth. Yeah, and Shoo. I love Shoo, and Shoo got a little traveling story behind him. He's somewhat an underdog, and goes out right at the fight, and he proves to his haters and his critics, yo, you may not like my style, you may not like the way I do things, but I'm gonna keep showing y'all I'm that bull. And I'm looking for him to go out and perform the 4th of July too, and I think Scooter Davis is on that card also, which is a guy that up and coming guy that I'm big on. I like to listen to him talk in his interview. Very confident young man, and seems like he just don't. He studies and he follows the sport of boxing pretty well from few interviews I heard him in. But yeah, get these other dudes out the way. They stagnated right now, and that's something I said a while ago. These guys keep messing around. They're gonna mess around and wind up being in the position that a lot of them didn't think they would be in, and even lose to someone that we would think they wouldn't lose to. The old Shockey Foster and Shakur Stevenson situation. And a lot of people easily say, well, I have Shakur winning this fight. I'll be honest and say that, but I'm probably one of the guys that is damn sure more of a 50-50 fight than some people think. And it must be something about O'Shaquie Foster that bothers the fuck out of Shakur Stevenson outside of him beating Ray Ford. Listen, if I can see that my fans is all on the social media saying they got me beating this dude, why the fuck I won't go ahead and do it? So I even told the guys, I said, listen, I can't have more confidence in what someone would do more than they have in themselves. And once I see that I have more confidence in them than they do, I gotta have a different mindset. I gotta have a different mindset because you're the one that has to go out and face this challenge. Now, the only way I'm doing that for is my children, because it pushes them. But these dudes at a professional status, hell no. So, dude, I'm kind of worried. I picked you to win, but I could pick you to lose this fight too. So there is something about O'Shaquie Foster that bothers Shakur Stevenson. But I'm gonna say this: people, we never know who's telling me with some fighters at time or who actually has someone's number. That's why it goes back to what I just said a couple of seconds ago. Motherfucker fuck around and lose to somebody that a lot of us don't think they would lose to. And that's the case. Nobody never knew Vernon Forrest had Sugar Shane Mosley number. Unless you was following them since the goddamn amateurs, but sometimes that don't pass over. You seen guys revenge of how guys did them dirty in amateurs in the pros. We seen it. And then we seen times dudes just, this guy, he might not be the best in the world. He might not beat the rest of those guys, but motherfucker, he can beat you no matter how many times you get in there. And that was running for our signature. Yo, this dude, we know, this is the first dude that we know for sure Shane Mosley can't fuck with it. No matter what Shane did before or what Shane did afterwards. Yeah, Shane landed that on floor. Yeah. The Vernon Forrest.
You're breaking up.
You understand what I'm saying? So, Shocky probably number.
Yeah.
Something about that, man. Go to pass.
Well, speaking on that situation right there, I was actually going to bring up a situation. I was Googling it because I wanted to be sure on the name of the guy that had Mark Breland's number. Wait. I can't remember who it is. I was gonna say somebody, but it's not him. I don't even want to say it. But basically, there was somebody that prior to the Olympics, this dude was beating up on Mark Breland, and then one of the fights that Mark Breland lost or whatever, I don't know if it was Marlon Sterling or if it was Aaron Davis. I know it wasn't the Vicar dude, but at the end of the day, I really don't remember. Mark Breland might have beat the guy. I think he wound up beating the dude. He got his get back and shit like that. But just to speak in that vein and stuff, with certain fighters, where the triangle theory works, yeah, it works. When you're looking at what O'Shaquie Foster sees in wanting to fight Shakur, what Xander says he sees in wanting to fight Boots, this is the thing where, now that the Boots and Xander fight is made, just give it the respect it deserves, just on the principle of the fight being made and both fighters saying that they got something to prove. They're going to expose the other guy. It may turn out to be one of the best fights. And respect whoever wins, lose, or draw, you still respect the winner. If the loser loses in a fashion that's like, yo, I got to see that fight again. You feel what I'm saying? Like the Bivol Baturvia first fight, everybody was split on it. I saw this. I saw that. No, it's this. He took this round, and everybody's discussing the rounds and what rounds was too close to call and shit like that. That's what moves the needle with boxing. That's what gets everybody engaged, whether you're a casual or a hardcore, because we all saw what we saw, and we're only talking about what we saw. You feel what I'm saying? So in that aspect, a fight with Shakur versus O'Shaquie Foster, we're going to have that conversation after that fight. Whether it's a one-sided victory, a close fight, split decision, majority decision, unanimous decision, stoppage, it is what it is. It's going to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? What if O'Shaquie does the unthinkable and makes Shakur look as easy as Raymond Ford? We'll never know if people start talking up and they're fans of Shakur and saying, well, why would Shakur do that? Why Shakur need to bring up a guy 2 weight classes? He don't. He could fight him at 35, where Shakur always saying, I'm a 35-pounder. I'm a 135-pounder. I was just going up to 140 to do X, Y, and Z. But we ain't heard you. Gary Russell been vocal on 2, maybe 3, Gary Antoine Russell been vocal, 2, maybe 3 interviews saying he would love to fight you. He'll even fight you next, but he know that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So more, you were saying you wanted to go down to 35 to fight Morataya. So if you go down to fight Morataya for that IBF and try to make that Ring Magazine fight, give Shaki that fight at 35. Y'all can easily make the weight. You feel what I'm saying? It's nothing goofy. Shaq already been there. It's an easy fight to make. But everybody is giving Shakur the ability to maneuver how he wants off of clearly ducking smoke. You bring up the issue with the WBC, it's, oh, that wasn't no real, Shaq was, no, that wasn't, and where's Shaq gonna get the money from? Well, the WBC already signed off on it. Shakur tweeted that WBC shit don't move me when he was talking to Ray Ford, telling Ray Ford he'll never get Shaq will never get a shot at him until he fight you. So there's the legitimacy right there because Shakur admits to it. But did he say it exactly? And it's like, bro, I'm not going to do that with you. We're not going to do that. We grown-ass men. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't even sit there and watch you do that. Nah, I don't, because I don't rock like that. But don't do that. So with that being said, if you give the criticism, you're you know, people will want to debate with you. Yeah, but you said, and you said this, and it's like you're missing a point. I'm only repeating what I heard this person say. Oh, now you believe what fighters say? When I don't believe what fighters say, it's because they showed me not to believe it. That's part of respect. A person tell you they're gonna do something, the principal says, all right, I'll respect you and see if you deliver on it. If you don't deliver on it, yeah, that nigga ain't shit. He ain't about his word. He don't stand on business. So in the boxing era, when is it cool not to listen to the fighter? Only when that it's not cool to listen to the fighter pertain to your favorite fighter being called out on some bullshit that he just did. Then everybody comes and tries to gaslight you like, oh my God, look at this guy. He actually listens to the fighters. I don't listen to the fighters. Why would I listen to the fighters? Okay, so if the guy says he want to be champ, you just, you lying. You don't want to be champ. That's what boxing's about now. That's what we doing. Let me check my watch to see what time it is, just to make sure we on the same type of time. Let's synchronize these watches because I don't rock with that. And for me, that type of shit is goofy as grown-ass men talking about a sport we love. If you love the sport, you uphold the integrity of the sport. And that's what Body was conveying to the dude that was on earlier. It's the integrity. Once you get to a certain level with your channel, where's your integrity and real love for the sport? I already know you're a hardcore boxing fan because you have a channel that you commit to every day, all day long, breaking news. You work to be part of the mainstream media. Like there are news joints and events that happen where you're gifted the first question over the mainstream media because you have that platform that moves the needle. We're talking about this guy. So where's your integrity? Where's that fan at? And that's the part that, Body was asking. And that's the part where I say, I get your frustration with it. I would also say I get that frustration with you, Crush. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I said, depending on the platform you're on, depending on what the person is doing, even if you frequent that channel, that channel has an agenda. They're trying to do them and do what they do. We may not like it, we may be whatever, but it's still bringing fans to the sport. Still having people engaging about the sport. Your concepts and your ideology may be way to fuck off, but at the end of the day, the same fight, if we talking about, let's just say a Shakur versus Tank happened. The same guys that I don't agree with will be watching the same fight I'm watching. The same guys that I hate and cursed me out, called me goofy and everything, you're watching the same fight I'm watching. You're watching the post, the fight week stuff. You're watching all of the pressers. you're doing reactionary videos on it, you have a panel, you feel what I'm saying? Your perspective, I may not pull up on your panel, but I'm gonna be where people are mostly with my perspective, and every once in a while I'll go and just see if we could have a civilized boxing conversation without you telling me, oh, you the ops. The fuck does that mean? I'm the ops. This shit ain't no gang. This shit ain't a military action. There is no, intel. We don't talk in military time. The fuck out of here with that op shit. I'm just the person that likes the other guy, or I may like both guys, but I'm just choosing one. So at the end of the day, bro, I get the content creators' frustration, especially the ones that are trying to stand on integrity. I get where, as a person outside looking in, some fans may think you guys are angry because you have integrity, and that integrity is frustrating people. I mean, frustrating you. It's like, yo, you have the platform. Where was that same integrity that you was building the channel with? Now you have even a bigger platform, and one of the biggest platforms, and you will not take a stand on anything. You are fucking Finland out this motherfucker. You won't get involved in jack shit. Hey, listen, I don't know. My name is Emmett and I ain't in it. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, so then you cannot complain and everyone can't get frustrated now that we have channels that are calling Shakur a duck. We got people who are heavy talking for Shakur, calling him a duck. So at the end of the day, man, a bathtub can only hold but so much water. A river can only be filled to so much. You know what I'm saying? A dam can only hold so much water. I don't give a shit how big it is. At the end of the day, you overflow it with bullshit, and that shit hits that critical level. Either the dam is gonna give, or it has to relieve the pressure. And relieving the pressure is saying, you know what? In this situation, I've been with you, I've been rocking with you, and even in the showbiz situation, he was pleading at the end. Please don't be mad at me. I'm just trying to say my little piece, and I just don't want to offend nobody, and I swear to God, I ain't trying to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying? But he felt integrity-wise that, yeah, I came into the sport for something different, and I just can't let this era rock with these egregious ducks and people are being rewarded for this shit. When the fuck we start rewarding ducking? And making mega fights off of two ducks. Yeah, you ducked him. Oh yeah, now y'all the number 1 and 2 guy in boxing because y'all just ducked him. So now we're gonna try to make this mega fight, and then we're gonna put the negotiations online. Yeah, okay. All right. I'll go to the 99-cent store and see, what aisle and what shelf that bullshit you selling is in.
I say it like this, man. When they said on Players Club, what do you say? He said something to keep your hands on the car. It's just like, when I look at it, it's just I'm just amazed at how everybody has something to say about a certain boxer that they don't like, but they see no flaws in their favorite fighter, and that's what's killing the sport, or that's what's enabling. All you gotta do is go back and watch the interview with Andre Ward and Shakur Stevenson. I'm like, man, there are so many contradictions. There are so many things that you can point at and say, okay, well, if that's your logic, let's apply your logic to you in specific. It's not going to add up. The math won't be math. And in Tank's absence, there was a moment to be seized. It was a moment to where it's like, man, shit, if Shakur really believed Like this would have been the epitome of like, even though it don't compare, if you know the numbers and you know the status of what people were doing. But right now, if Shakur would have said, "All right, well, fuck it, you want me to come to 47? I'll go to 47." Like it would have put so much pressure on Devin. And if he won that fight, undeniable, just in Tank's absence, they would have perceived him as the man. But don't nobody really want to like really dare to be great right now. Like when we're talking about this Mount Duckmore, they're not trying to be great. Keyshawn knows that if he goes out to Devin and he loses, they're gonna say, "Oh well, yeah, he only had 16 fights or whatever." They're gonna give him the Brian Norman treatment, whatever. Right? If Shakur fights Devin, this gonna be an excuse. Oh well, yeah, Shakur, he only had one fight up or whatever, or Devin, he had to drain them. He was already big for the weight cut. All kind of excuses. It's like back in the day, the throwback fighters, they didn't give a fuck. You say, man, hey, after school, I'm beating your ass at 3 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be there at 3 o'clock and you gonna get your ass beat, or you gonna beat some ass. Like it was just that simple. It wasn't all this politics and all this. Oh well, if you really look at it, because if you listen to what Bill said and all that, it's like once people start getting into all that explaining and doing all this other shit, you're not daring to be great. Move out the way. Give way to these young people. Because you can't tell me that Devin didn't duck Rolly. You can't tell me that Shakur didn't duck Oshaki. And you can't tell me that if an offer was on the table, especially when y'all getting 5 times the amount. Like, so think about this, y'all. And I'm going to land right here. I promise y'all. If Eddie Hearn came out and said that Shakur was going to get 5 times, he's like, man, Zuffa, they're paying 5 times the amount. And then they told us that they were signing the Zuffa, but we ain't getting nothing in concrete. And I was saying the whole time, but like, y'all can believe that shit all y'all want. Y'all can believe that Ryan gonna fight Conor Ben all y'all want. I was like, I haven't seen nothing in concrete. And to this day, Deontay Wilder style, I still haven't heard anything in concrete. But if a nigga was gonna pay you 5 times the amount of what you really worth, I'm talking about this as a business owner. It's coming up on two plus years where I haven't worked. I've been working for myself for 2+ years, so it's hard. It's hard out here to maintain that. Somebody gonna pay you 5 times the amount, and all you gotta do is go up 7 pounds. But you one of them ones, and the skills pay the bills. Height don't fight, and size don't matter. Like, are you ducking or not? Because you didn't accept it. You coming up with more reasons as to why you won't fight than what you will. Don't knock me as the messenger. I'm just making an observation. You don't believe that's like, you don't believe you the shit. And I'll leave it like that, man. How y'all want to land, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna land right here, bro. At the end of the day, for me, just to piggyback off that one sentiment, is this. The point that I brought up earlier. When he got in the ring with Oshaki Foster, the talk wasn't he got in the ring with Oshaki Foster. The talk was between the Shakur fans and many other people was, God damn, you seen how big Shakur looked? That was 135-pound, rehydrated Oshaki Foster. And there was no rehydration clause. There was no rehydration limit pretty much in what he did. You feel what I'm saying? So, if you was talking about how big Shakur looked, his neck and everything else, what is he? I'm gonna say it like this. The fuck are you talking about that he needs time to get to 147? You're talking about coming down to 147. If that's who you are when you're just walking around, and mind y'all, he just came off the Teofimo Lopez fight. And I believe that was this year. So at the end of the day, that was a Shakur that both went up from 35 to 40 and then walks around still around his natural weight. Just because he went up, it doesn't mean, some weird math that goes with it. Yes, he may be putting on some grown man weight. You feel what I'm saying? But to try to give us the bullshit that, no, you got to listen to what Shakur Camp and his trainers were saying. They just want to bulk up in muscle. Size don't matter. Skills pay the bills. Muscle is not what knocks people out. It's timing and everything else. Positioning of the feet, the type of spring you got. You feel what I'm saying? Did you set it up? They didn't see the punch coming. Those are the real factors that in a one-hitter quitter. Yes, power. And when you look at a guy like Tank Davis isn't muscular, but he just holds a lot of power. Deontay Wilder is skinny, lean. He's not muscular. He's skinny and lean, tall, built like a basketball player. You feel what I'm saying? I've seen basketball players that are bigger than Deontay Wilder as far as body size. But he carries a lot of power. He's not muscular. You want me to tell you a guy who's muscular? Frank, what's the name? Why am my brain farting off his name?
Frank Martin.
Yeah, Frank Martin. Floyd Schofield Jr. They're muscular. Brian Norman Jr. Muscular.
Anthony Yard.
Anthony Yard. Muscular. You feel what I'm saying? That's, but Brian Norman carries power. When you talk about all of these guys, pound for pound, size-wise, the one that carries the most power is Brian Norman. He got that country strength with him. The muscular is just the body type he has. I think even if he didn't have that type of body type, if his body type fit more like Tank, he'd still carry the same power. It's just in his DNA just to be powerful. That shit you born with, you can't train for it. So at the end of the day, bro, there's all of these different metrics. There's all of these different dynamics. I don't try to find excuses for fighters to duck. If you're a guy that I rock with, you duck somebody, you duck. It's just that simple to me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I can stand on business and say, yeah, my guy ducked. And if you want to debate and have a weird-ass super fan debate that you're saying you're a Devin Haney fan, I'm a Devin Haney fan, but, you won't admit to it and tell me it was the business, but yet there's this mystery negative $6 million. How the fuck do we get to a negative $6 million in business? In business, negative numbers tend to mean there is something that you owe out. It's in the liability column. You know what I'm saying? It's not in the equity or asset column. Negative numbers don't look good. That means there's a balance due. And if you're telling everybody, well, we weren't getting a guarantee on getting paid or even getting paid, that means there was a fucking buy-in. And with the buy-in, you lose your ability of a guarantee because you're taking the owner's risk. That's all that means. I'm in a current situation like that. I've been taking the owner's risk for 2 years and I can't get this fucking lady to negotiate properly. For my buyout. So at the end of the day, I understand how these type of things work because I have a business and I can use my business experience to let it overlay what I see in boxing. And it's common sense that I'm building on. If you can't understand that, you're not a business owner. And you can't debate with me on that because at the end of the day, business is business, no matter what the fuck it is. Boxing is no different than any other business, with the exception, people punch themselves in the fucking head. But it's still a form of entertainment like basketball, going to the movies, or play, coming to a tasting menu that a chef may do. And that's where I'll land my plane.
Yeah. Quick breakdown, AC. Oh, shit. What else we got, man?
You been good,
Yeah.
Crush, man?
Yeah, I've been alright, man. Had some things I had to take care of, but everything alright. Everything alright, man. Thanks for
Glad to
asking.
hear, man. Glad to hear, man.
Yeah, man. Had some stuff going on. Had to, switch up jobs and all that shit. Just moved into my new place. Going through shit with the folks and, getting shit back on. Everything alright, though. Everything is alright.
Good.
I can't complain. That still ain't gonna stop me from me being me and doing me. And just speaking out the reality on any situation, just not the sport of boxing, man. 'Cause that's how I was brought up, you know what I mean? So I don't know no other way. I don't know no other way, No other way, man.
How you want to land, man? What's your message, man? Give your people, and if you can, put your link in the chat, man. And how you want to land, man?
Man, and hold up, before you say that, Crush, pull up more often, man, because you're the voice and the perspective. You feel what I'm saying, that can bring balance to what we do over here, because you're on the same type of time. And that's all we're saying is in the fact that if life is lifing for you, then your commitment to what you're doing, you still have the platform here. Because at the end of the day, Body gives me the opportunity to do the AC Abachi series. You feel what I'm saying? This is where I'm trying to tell these dudes, you can't talk to me about Zuffa like that, and you can't talk to me about the sanctioning bodies like that. Because this was shit I actually looked into, researched, and studied. And I know the format of what these companies are doing because I'm doing shit like that in real life. So all I'm saying is that, you have a platform over here. You have a voice over here. So
appreciate it.
Feel what I'm saying? And I'm only speaking from, talking to the homie behind the scenes and stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? And he's like, we both said, we wish Crush would come up, when we spot him in the jump off, come up and add your take to the show, because it's gonna be value.
I appreciate it. So every time I see my bro, I'm a pop on, man. You already know. If I see him there, like I was over there too since I seen he was on, I said, I'm out of here. Let me go ahead and fuck with my man Bodywork. So if I get that notification, I'm coming. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to catch you guys at the beginning of the show, man. But yeah, anytime I see my bro, I'll come over here. So, I met you through my bro Smoke. So you know how we get down, man. You're a thorough guy. We've been on the square since we went, man. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that would be cool, because then we could hear your take on on the housekeeping before we even get into the shit.
Right, man. I appreciate it. I'll be here for it, man. I don't mind. It ain't too many places I go. If I'm not doing my show, the only other platform I will go and be on the panel is Cam. You know what I'm saying? I do a pop up here and there, but if I'm not on my show, I'm over Cam. I go on BBO's show every once in a while, depending on what he's talking about. And sometimes I just rock out in the chat. So there ain't too many places I go. Unless I want to go over there and bring their property value down, fuck their old shit up there. You know how we do. Go there and just fuck their shit up real quick, But then that, I'll be here, man. It's another home for me, and I appreciate it. So I will be here, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, give us your thoughts, bro.
Oh man, just basically, man, real lifetime, man. We gotta protect our energy, man. And at any cause, you have to make sure your frequency levels is above average, because the average person frequencies is fucked up out here. You know what I mean? And just protect your energy and make sure nobody damages your shield, man. Because a lot of people are vampires out here. They come around you just to drain your energy. No matter to feed from it or to feed off it, but it's to take from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's too much of that going on. As far as the sport of boxing, most of these dudes is moving like bitches. And like my man Jim Kelly, the legendary Jim Kelly said, man, they come straight out of a comic book. And I could look at some stand-up comedians, I want to laugh at some shit. So these guys need to stop making themselves a laughing stock being a laughing stock and being lackluster and being inactive, skill level matchup wise and activity wise, because these guys are totally inactive on both ends, and they need to tighten up like a Boy Scout now, man. Check me out. I'll be on tomorrow morning. Come on at 7:30. I'm gonna do a 2-hour show up until like 9:30 because I took a break a couple of days out of the week. I had some things going on I had to take care of. So I'm gonna do a Saturday segment, and actually I'm gonna be talking about everything that's going on here because I just want to upset some people tomorrow, make them have to go to the bathroom and get rid of their breakfast.
Word, man. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping through, Crush, man.
Of course, bro. I'm coming over, man. Y'all gave me the invite, man. I'm gonna come over here, man, and they gonna hear it through the hard way. So it is what it is, man. And I'll see you guys soon.
All right, for sure.
Enjoy your evening, bro.
I'm about to, bro. All right, thank you.
All right, man. Salute to you too, AC, man. Thanks for coming through, man. We got Bam tomorrow, man. So, I'm sure we'll be texting or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and close out, man. Go ahead and lay up on some titties.
Yeah, for sure, man. This was a good one. It was a bit longer, but it was a really good show. I on this one, you getting ready to do that. I'm about to do the same thing, but be like, I'm sorry. I know the lie was a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So at the end of the day, man, great show, and I hope I wasn't stepping over my boundaries by saying what I said to Crush. I don't know if you might want to say something similar to that offline, but you feel what I'm saying?
We on the same shit of music, man. Just keep going, man. We on the same shit of music, AC.
All right, for sure, man.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Enjoy your.
All right, man. See you. Well, we had another good show, man. My man Crush came through, man. Subscribe to his channel, man. When AC get his thing going, I know y'all gonna subscribe. I'll make sure I plug. There is a deficit of real motherfuckers out here, and I only attach myself to real motherfuckers. Salute to Quee. You know what I'm saying? I super chatted you, but man, you ain't had to super chat me back, but I appreciate it, man. I super chatted you because you are a real genuine person. Like, in everything I've seen and heard, you've never been disingenuous. I know the politics of YouTube and how it can be. And from everything I've seen, you always been a real one. So the only reason why I cash app you, I feel kind of silly, man, that you cash app me back. But I'm going to support you some more. Keep doing your thing. There is a place for women in boxing and on YouTube who are genuine. So I support you. Salute to Major Key, Frontline, Honeybee, Cookie Monster, everybody that came through and supported. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this thought, man. I've been on this here lately where I said that, right now at the fragile, vulnerable place that boxing is in, there's really no space to play politics. We can't afford it. It's like we're at the brink. Like somebody got us over the ropes, hand extended, we already woozy, we've been hit in the head, and now you want to say, oh man, no, I feel sorry for this guy, and I just hope that this guy. It's like, no, man, you gotta be at a point in time where you just say what need to be said, especially if you have a following. Why? Because if you don't say what need to be said, then the popular consensus, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age, they're gonna win. It's gonna prevail. You know how when they say it's safety in numbers? If you get enough people saying, "Oh man, this food is great, this excellent, this blah blah blah," but the food is trash, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna keep cooking the food the way that they're cooking the food. You gotta be honest and say, hey, it's a little salty. It was a little salty. The food was a little salty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had better. Remember on Liar Liar when he's like, I've had better. Like, the guys that we're putting up on our Mount Rushmores right now, and I'll just use Keyshawn. And I don't hate Keyshawn. He's a young brother from Virginia, one state over from where I was born. I have no reason to hate the man. I hope he succeeds. He come from a single parent household. He had Michael Vick on deck. He had AI on deck. Bruce Smith on deck. The mayor on deck. Why wouldn't I want him to be an example to succeed? That's not going to allow me to not call out the bullshit and say that, hey man, check his resume. Look and see what he's done. Is he ready? Is he a crash out? Last time I checked, he missed weight. Shakur. Last time I checked, he went back on his word. And I heard somebody, man, that's supposed to be an advocate for combat sports come on and say that athletes in this division and the shit that we, cater to, that morals and principles was never a thing when it came down to them. I'm like, okay, so what do you stand on, bro? As men, if you don't stand on your word, if you don't stand on your laurels, principles, like, what are you standing on? And I think that's just an indicator because of certain fighters, like, because if you think about Bud and all the things, you think about Shakur and how he always throwing around this word called integrity. But if you go back and look at the interview with a critical eye, not seeking hate, just listening to what he says, you'll be dazed and confused. Boxing is dying. These fighters shouldn't be able to sell out to get overpaid for what they have not earned. I'm saying get as much money as they'll give you. But just like anything else, when you've earned something versus when something is just given to you. And it's good to have gifts. But when people are getting out the mud and got it the hard way, and you're being perceived as higher than them based on your affiliation with something else, something ain't lining up. Like what Keyshawn did, being number one at 47. When he got a belt at 35, didn't get a single solitary belt at 40, didn't get an interim strap, wasn't tenured, didn't do nothing, but they put him above Brian Norman. Like, how, Sway? That's just food for thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna be here. I'm not gonna change, man. Like I said, when you look at my wrist, like when you actually look at this, that's say not for sale. That means when I extend my right arm out to you and we do business, you already know I'm not for sale. There is no price. I'll starve before I do something strange for a little piece of change. And our boxers in current day can't say the same. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based. Even though we have ours. I always say, go where they always know your name, they always sing your praise, and they always get you claim, and then you come over and see what we got to say. Hopefully you was able to get something in your rucksack and march on from it. If I advocated for somebody on this channel, subscribe to them, man. I called it 300 for a reason. Think about it. All it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent, so we speak to the things that need to be spoken to. And all it takes is a few good men. We ain't trying to cater to everybody. Everybody ain't the forte. We're not trying to be the Drake of this shit. Because I always consider myself the Lloyd Banks of this shit. Because I can really walk away from this shit. But somehow, some way, I can't get away from this shit. I'll be here, man. And we'll be talking that boxing talk, man. Hopefully Bam do his thing. And he continues to ride on his level of where he's at. But I want you to look at your favorite fighter, man. Analyze them the same way you do the ops. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.